Life is full of challenges. Every day we wake up to face a world that demands more from us than we sometimes feel capable of giving. The pressures of work, relationships, and personal goals can feel overwhelming, leaving us stressed, anxious, and unsure of where to turn. But what if there was a way to rise above these challenges? A way to find peace amidst the chaos, strength in moments of weakness, and clarity when the path ahead seems uncertain. Imagine for a moment that you could live each day with a calm, unshakable confidence. Picture yourself navigating life's ups and downs with grace, never losing your cool and always knowing what to do next. What if you could master your emotions, control your reactions, and build a life that truly reflects your deepest values and desires? This isn't some distant dream. It's a reality that can be achieved through the wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy, but its teachings are as relevant today as they were over 2,000 years ago. At its core, Stoicism is about living in harmony with yourself and the world around you. It's about understanding what you can control and letting go of the rest. It's about building resilience, cultivating inner peace, and developing the mental strength to face whatever life throws your way. In our fast-paced modern world, where distractions are endless and the pressure to succeed can be crushing, Stoicism offers a refuge, a way to step back, reassess, and move forward with purpose. It teaches us that true freedom isn't found in wealth or status, but in the mastery of our own minds. It's about taking control of your life, not by controlling everything around you, but by controlling how you respond to it. We all have moments when life feels overwhelming, when anxiety creeps in, and when we wonder if we're on the right path. Stoicism provides the tools to navigate these moments with courage and wisdom. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Instead, Stoicism teaches us how to face our emotions head-on, to understand them, and to channel them in ways that empower us rather than hold us back. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on focusing on what truly matters. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of our goals and get caught up in things that don't really matter. Stoicism brings us back to the essentials. It encourages us to reflect on what's truly important in our lives and to let go of the rest. This shift in focus can be life-changing, helping us to cut through the noise and find clarity in even the most challenging situations. But Stoicism isn't just about surviving life's challenges. It's about thriving in spite of them. It's about transforming obstacles into opportunities, turning setbacks into stepping stones, and using every experience, good or bad, as a chance to grow. With Stoicism, you learn that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. It's in the difficult moments that we discover our true strength. Through Stoic practices, you can develop the resilience to face anything life throws at you. Whether it's dealing with a difficult boss, navigating a rocky relationship, or simply trying to find your place in the world, Stoicism offers a path to inner peace and strength. It teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. And in that response lies our true power. Stoicism also offers a unique perspective on time. In a culture that often pushes us to rush, to achieve more and more in less and less time, Stoicism reminds us to slow down and appreciate the present moment. It encourages us to live fully in the now, without being weighed down by the past or anxious about the future. This mindful approach to life can bring a profound sense of peace and fulfillment, allowing us to enjoy the journey rather than constantly striving for the next goal. But perhaps the most important lesson Stoicism teaches us is the value of self-mastery. It's about learning to control your impulses, to think before you act, and to respond to life's challenges with wisdom rather than reactivity. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or denying your feelings. Rather, it's about understanding your emotions, acknowledging them, and then choosing how to respond in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Imagine the impact this could have on your life. Imagine being able to approach every situation with calm and clarity, to stay grounded in the face of adversity, and to make decisions that are true to who you are and what you want out of life. This is the promise of Stoicism, a life of purpose, peace, and power. As you embark on this journey, remember that Stoicism is not a quick fix. It's not about achieving perfection or becoming some unfeeling robot. It's about progress, about taking small steps each day to become the best version of yourself. It's about learning to live with intention, to make choices that align with your true self, and to find joy in the simple, everyday moments. So take a deep breath and get ready to explore a new way of living, a way that will help you rise above the noise and distractions of modern life, find peace amidst the chaos, and build a life that reflects your deepest values and desires. This is the journey you're about to embark on, a journey to reshape your life from the inside out. The principles you're about to learn are more than just theories. They're practical tools that can transform your life. Whether you're seeking to overcome anxiety, build better relationships, or simply find more peace and fulfillment, Stoicism has something to offer you. And as you begin to apply these principles in your daily life, you'll start to see changes, subtle at first, but profound over time. This is your chance to take control of your life, to stop reacting to circumstances and start shaping them. It's your opportunity to live with more intention, to find strength in every challenge, and to create a life that truly reflects who you are and what you value. You have the power to reshape your life. Let's begin. As you step into this journey of transformation, it's important to acknowledge the shadows that loom over so many of our lives: anxiety, worry, and the relentless pursuit of peace in a world that feels anything but peaceful. These feelings are universal, yet they often make us feel isolated, as if we are alone in our struggle. But what if the very things that cause you so much distress could be transformed into tools for growth? What if, instead of being consumed by anxiety, you could learn to harness it, to turn it into a source of strength and clarity? Anxiety is a powerful force. It creeps into our thoughts, often uninvited, and settles deep within us. It can take many forms: constant worry about the future, fear of failure, or the overwhelming feeling that life is spiraling out of control. But what if you could shift your perspective? What if, instead of seeing anxiety as an enemy, you began to view it as a signal, a call to turn inward, to reconnect with your inner strength, and to find peace not outside of yourself, but within? The wisdom of Stoicism offers a pathway out of this mental storm. It doesn't promise to eliminate the challenges you face, but it provides you with the tools to navigate them with grace and resilience. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of calm, knowing that whatever comes your way, you have the power to handle it. Imagine finding peace in the present moment, even when the world around you is chaotic. This is the gift that Stoicism can offer, a way to live not just in spite of your anxiety, but in harmony with it. In the following exploration, you will discover how the ancient Stoics approached anxiety and stress. They understood that life is unpredictable, that challenges are inevitable, and that control is an illusion. But they also knew that peace is possible, not by changing the world, but by changing how we respond to it. You will learn techniques that have stood the test of time, practices that have helped countless individuals find a sense of calm amidst the storms of life. As you begin this chapter, prepare to dive deep into the teachings of Stoicism. These aren't just abstract ideas, they are practical, actionable strategies that you can start applying to your life today. Whether you're dealing with the daily stresses of work, relationships, or your inner battles, these techniques will guide you toward a place of inner peace. You'll learn to see anxiety not as something to be feared, but as a signal to reconnect with the calm and strength that lies within you. Embrace this journey with an open heart and mind. Allow the wisdom of Stoicism to guide you through your fears and worries and into a life of true peace. The path is not always easy, but it is one worth taking. And as you continue to explore these teachings, you will find that the peace you seek has been within you all along, waiting for you to uncover it. The Stoics believed that our thoughts are the root of our emotions. It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about those events. This fundamental insight is the key to managing anxiety. By changing the way we think, we can change the way we feel. Imagine the power this gives you, no longer a victim of your circumstances, but an active participant in your own emotional life. One of the most effective techniques for managing anxiety is to challenge the thoughts that fuel it. The Stoics understood that our minds are often filled with irrational fears and exaggerated worries. By questioning these thoughts, by holding them up to the light of reason, we can diffuse their power. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending that everything is fine. It means recognizing that your thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not necessarily true, and they do not have to control you. This practice of cognitive distancing is a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. When you find yourself overwhelmed by anxiety, take a step back and observe your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or is it hurting me? Is it based on facts or is it based on assumptions? By cultivating this awareness, you can begin to separate yourself from the swirl of anxious thoughts and see them for what they are, temporary and often misleading. To bring this into a more practical context, consider the last time you felt anxious about something. Perhaps it was a looming deadline at work or a difficult conversation you needed to have with someone. The anxiety you felt was likely fueled by a series of thoughts. What if I miss the deadline? What if I say the wrong thing? What if this ruins everything? These thoughts are common, but they are also often irrational. Cognitive distancing invites you to step back and ask yourself, are these thoughts really true? Am I certain that this will happen, or am I simply imagining the worst-case scenario? By questioning your thoughts in this way, you gain perspective. You see that the anxiety you feel is not necessarily a reflection of reality, but rather a product of your mind. This doesn't mean the challenges you face aren't real. It simply means that your mind is amplifying the potential negative outcomes. When you recognize this, you can begin to reduce the power these thoughts have over you. Another powerful technique is the practice of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This simple yet profound principle lies at the heart of Stoicism. So much of our anxiety comes from trying to control things that are beyond our control, other people's actions, the future, even the past. The Stoics teach us that this is a futile effort, one that only leads to frustration and suffering. Instead, they encourage us to focus our energy on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses. This shift in focus can be incredibly liberating. It frees us from the burden of trying to manage the unmanageable and allows us to direct our energy toward what truly matters. When you focus on what you can control, you regain a sense of agency in your life. You realize that while you may not be able to change the world around you, you can always choose how you respond to it. This practice of focusing on what you can control is not about giving up or resigning yourself to fate. It's about accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. It's about finding peace in the present moment, rather than getting lost in the what-ifs of the future. When you embrace this mindset, you'll find that much of your anxiety begins to melt away. You'll discover that peace isn't something you have to chase. It's something you can create right here and now. Think about a situation where you felt anxious because things weren't going according to plan. Maybe you were stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. The anxiety you felt likely stemmed from the fact that you couldn't control the traffic, the time, or the outcome of the meeting. But what if, instead of focusing on these uncontrollable factors, you focused on what you could control? Perhaps you could use the time to prepare mentally for the meeting or practice deep breathing to stay calm. By shifting your focus, you can reduce anxiety and regain a sense of control over your experience. When you feel anxiety rising, take a moment to pause and breathe. Notice what is happening in your body and mind without trying to change it. Simply observe your thoughts and feelings as they are, without getting caught up in them. This pause creates a space between your thoughts and your reactions, giving you the opportunity to choose how you want to respond. For example, imagine you're about to give a presentation and you start to feel anxious. Instead of letting the anxiety take over, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and notice the thoughts running through your mind. Acknowledge them without judgment and remind yourself that they are just thoughts. They don't define you or the outcome of your presentation. By creating this mental space, you can approach the situation with greater calm and confidence. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of gratitude as a tool for overcoming anxiety. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong, to focus on the problems and challenges in your life. But the Stoics remind us to take a step back and appreciate what we have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present. It helps you to see the good in your life, even when things are difficult. By cultivating a daily practice of gratitude, you can start to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing your life through the lens of lack, you begin to see it through the lens of abundance. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending that everything is perfect. It means acknowledging the good that exists alongside the challenges. It means recognizing that even in the midst of struggle, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to anxiety because it grounds you in the present moment. It reminds you that, despite the uncertainties of life, there is still so much to appreciate. This shift in focus can have a profound impact on your emotional state. It can help you to find peace in the midst of chaos and to approach life's challenges with a sense of optimism and hope. To incorporate gratitude into your daily routine, consider starting a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be small things, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning, or bigger things, like the support of a loved one. By regularly reflecting on what you're thankful for, you train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than getting caught up in the negatives. Another Stoic technique for managing anxiety is the practice of negative visualization. This may seem counterintuitive at first. Why would you want to imagine negative outcomes? But the Stoics believed that by confronting your fears head-on, you can reduce their power over you. By imagining the worst-case scenario, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for whatever may come. Negative visualization isn't about dwelling on the negative or becoming pessimistic. It's about acknowledging the reality that life is uncertain and that things don't always go according to plan. By visualizing potential challenges, you build resilience and reduce the shock if they do occur. This practice helps you to detach from outcomes and focus on what you can control, your actions and your responses. For example, if you're worried about a job interview, you might imagine the worst-case scenario. The interviewer doesn't like you, you stumble over your words, and you don't get the job. By visualizing this, you're not resigning yourself to failure. Rather, you're preparing yourself for the possibility. This preparation allows you to approach the interview with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you've already considered and accepted the worst-case scenario. This technique also helps to put things in perspective. Often, our fears are blown out of proportion in our minds. By visualizing them, we can see them for what they are, manageable challenges rather than insurmountable obstacles. This shift in perspective can help to reduce anxiety and increase your sense of control over your life. The Stoics also taught the importance of self-compassion in managing anxiety. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you're feeling anxious, to criticize yourself for not being strong enough or for letting your worries get the best of you. But the Stoics remind us that we are all human and that it's okay to feel vulnerable at times. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you practice self-compassion, you create a space for healing. You allow yourself to feel your emotions without judgment, and you give yourself permission to be imperfect. This doesn't mean wallowing in self-pity or making excuses for yourself. It means recognizing that you are doing the best you can and that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Self-compassion also helps to break the cycle of anxiety. When you're hard on yourself, you create more stress and anxiety. But when you treat yourself with kindness, you create a sense of safety and support within yourself. This allows you to approach your challenges with a clearer mind and a stronger heart. A practical way to cultivate self-compassion is through the practice of self-talk. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself when you're feeling anxious. Are you harsh and critical, or are you kind and supportive? If you notice that your self-talk is negative, try to reframe it in a more compassionate way. For example, instead of saying, "I can't believe I'm so anxious about this," try saying, "It's okay to feel anxious. This is a tough situation, and I'm doing my best." Another powerful Stoic practice is the art of acceptance. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from resisting reality, wishing that things were different than they are. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means acknowledging the truth of your situation and finding peace with it. It means letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. When you practice acceptance, you free yourself from the constant struggle to change things that are beyond your control. You begin to see that, while you may not be able to control the events in your life, you can always control how you respond to them. This shift in mindset can bring a deep sense of peace and resilience. It allows you to face life's challenges with grace and courage, knowing that you have the inner strength to overcome them. To practice acceptance, start by identifying the aspects of your life that you struggle to accept. It could be a situation at work, a relationship issue, or a personal challenge. Then ask yourself, what would it look like to accept this as it is? This doesn't mean you have to like the situation or agree with it. It simply means acknowledging that it exists and that you have the power to respond to it in a way that aligns with your values. For instance, if you're dealing with a difficult colleague at work, acceptance might mean acknowledging that you can't change their behavior, but you can control how you interact with them. By focusing on what you can control, your own actions and responses, you can reduce the stress and anxiety that comes from trying to change the unchangeable. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of living in alignment with your values. When you're true to yourself and your principles, you create a solid foundation for your life. This alignment gives you a sense of purpose and direction, which can be incredibly grounding in times of anxiety. When you know what you stand for, you're less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others or the uncertainties of life. Living in alignment with your values also helps to reduce anxiety because it gives you a clear sense of what matters most to you. When you're focused on what's truly important, the small worries and distractions of life begin to fade away. You become more centered and grounded, able to navigate life's challenges with a sense of clarity and purpose. To identify your core values, take some time to reflect on what matters most to you. What principles guide your decisions? What do you stand for? Once you've identified your values, use them as a compass to guide your actions and decisions. When faced with a difficult choice or a challenging situation, ask yourself, how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? Finally, the Stoics teach us the importance of community in managing anxiety. We are not meant to go through life alone. Connection with others provides support, perspective, and encouragement. The Stoics valued friendship and community as essential components of a good life. By surrounding yourself with people who share your values and support your growth, you create a network of strength and resilience. When you're feeling anxious, it can be tempting to isolate yourself, to withdraw from others, and try to manage everything on your own. But reaching out for support is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's an acknowledgement that we all need help sometimes, and that there is power in connection. By building a community of support, you create a safety net that can catch you when you fall and lift you up when you're struggling. Building a strong community doesn't mean you need a large circle of friends. It's about quality, not quantity. Focus on nurturing relationships with people who share your values and who support your growth. These relationships can provide you with a sense of belonging and security, which are essential for managing anxiety. As you continue to explore these Stoic practices, remember that the journey to inner peace is a process. It takes time, patience, and commitment. But with each step you take, you will find yourself growing stronger, more resilient, and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. The techniques you've learned here are just the beginning, tools that you can use to reshape your life and find the peace and strength that lies within you. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, you can transform your relationship with anxiety. You can learn to see it not as an enemy, but as a teacher, an opportunity to grow and become stronger. By challenging your thoughts, focusing on what you can control, practicing mindfulness, cultivating gratitude, and embracing acceptance, you can find peace in the midst of life's challenges. By living in alignment with your values, practicing self-compassion, and building a supportive community, you can create a life of purpose, resilience, and inner peace. The journey may not be easy, but it is one worth taking. As you continue to explore and apply these Stoic techniques, you will discover that the peace you seek has been within you all along, waiting for you to uncover it. So take a deep breath, embrace the process, and step into a life of greater peace, strength, and resilience. The tools are in your hands. Now it's up to you to use them. As you've explored the techniques to manage anxiety and find inner peace, you've begun to strengthen your mind and calm the storms within. But even as you cultivate this inner sanctuary, there are external forces that can disturb your peace, forces that come in the form of people. The relationships you keep have a profound impact on your well-being. Some people lift you up, inspire you, and support your growth, but others, knowingly or unknowingly, can drain your energy, sow seeds of doubt, and pull you away from the path you've worked so hard to forge. Imagine for a moment the relief you would feel if you could protect your peace from those who consistently bring negativity into your life. Imagine being able to identify the subtle ways that certain individuals undermine your progress and having the strength to distance yourself from their influence. This is not about judging or condemning others, but about recognizing that your mental and emotional health must be a priority. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature, warned us about the types of people who can disrupt our journey toward a life of purpose and peace. They understood that while we must be compassionate and tolerant, we must also be vigilant in protecting our inner sanctuary. The company you keep is not just a reflection of who you are, but also a powerful influence on who you become. As you delve into this next section, you'll learn about the different types of toxic people that Stoicism advises you to avoid. These are individuals who, if allowed too much presence in your life, can subtly erode your sense of self, disturb your inner peace, and lead you astray from the path of virtue and tranquility. By recognizing these harmful influences, you'll be better equipped to set boundaries, protect your well-being, and surround yourself with people who support your growth and happiness. Toxic people come in many forms. Some are overtly negative, always finding something to complain about, never satisfied with what they have. They drag you down with their pessimism, making it difficult to maintain your own sense of optimism and hope. Others are more subtle, masking their toxicity under the guise of friendship or concern. They may manipulate your emotions, make you feel guilty for their own shortcomings, or pressure you to conform to their way of thinking. The Stoics teach us to be wary of these influences, to recognize them for what they are, and to take steps to distance ourselves from them. One of the most common types of toxic people are those who thrive on drama and conflict. These individuals seem to attract chaos wherever they go. They are often at the center of disputes, always finding themselves in arguments or conflicts. They feed off the tension and negativity, and they often try to pull others into their drama. The Stoics remind us that peace is found in calmness, and that we must avoid those who disturb our tranquility with their constant need for conflict. These drama seekers may try to involve you in their conflicts, drawing you into arguments that are not yours to fight. They may provoke you, testing your patience and pushing your buttons. But remember, engaging with them only fuels the fire. The Stoics advise us to remain calm and detached, to refuse to be drawn into unnecessary disputes. By keeping a safe distance from these individuals, you protect your peace and maintain your focus on what truly matters. For instance, consider a coworker who is always in the middle of office gossip or disputes. They might constantly pull you aside to share the latest drama or try to enlist you in their side of a conflict. Engaging with them not only drags you into unnecessary stress, but also distracts you from your own work and peace of mind. The Stoic approach here would be to listen politely, but refuse to get involved. Keep your interactions professional and focused on the tasks at hand, rather than allowing yourself to be drawn into the chaos they create. Another type of toxic person to be mindful of is the perpetual critic. This is someone who always has something negative to say, no matter the situation. They find fault in everything and everyone, including you. Their constant criticism can wear you down, eroding your confidence and making you doubt yourself. The Stoics teach us that we should not let the opinions of others dictate our self-worth. You must learn to recognize the difference between constructive feedback and destructive criticism, and to distance yourself from those who offer only the latter. Perpetual critics often project their own insecurities onto others. Their harsh words are more a reflection of their inner turmoil than of any real flaws in you. It's important to remember this when you encounter such people. Rather than internalizing their negativity, remind yourself that their criticism is not about you, it's about them. By refusing to engage with their negativity, you reclaim your power and protect your self-esteem. Imagine a scenario where you have a family member who never seems to be satisfied with anything you do. No matter how hard you try, they always find something to criticize, leaving you feeling frustrated and demoralized. The Stoic approach would be to recognize that their criticisms are more about their own dissatisfaction with life than about your actions. By maintaining your own sense of worth and not allowing their negativity to affect you, you protect your peace of mind. Then there are the manipulators, those who use guilt, shame, or emotional blackmail to control you. These individuals may seem caring or concerned, but their true intent is to manipulate you into doing what they want. They may play on your emotions, making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. They may guilt you into making sacrifices that serve their interests rather than your own. The Stoics warn us to be vigilant against such manipulation and to set firm boundaries to protect ourselves. Manipulators are often skilled at twisting situations to their advantage. They may make you feel guilty for saying no, or they may play the victim, making you feel responsible for their problems. It's crucial to recognize these tactics for what they are: attempts to control you. The Stoics teach us that true friendship and love are based on mutual respect, not on manipulation. By setting boundaries with manipulators, you assert your right to live your life according to your values, free from undue influence. For example, imagine a friend who frequently asks for favors but never reciprocates. They may use guilt to pressure you into helping them, saying things like, "I thought you were my friend," or "I've done so much for you in the past." While it's important to be generous and supportive, it's also crucial to recognize when you're being manipulated. The Stoic approach would be to set clear boundaries, perhaps by saying, "I'm happy to help when I can, but I also need to take care of my own responsibilities." Another toxic archetype the Stoics caution us about is the envious person. These individuals are never content with what they have and are always comparing themselves to others. They may seem supportive on the surface, but underneath, they are seething with envy. Their jealousy can manifest in subtle ways, undermining your successes, making backhanded compliments, or subtly sabotaging your efforts. The Stoics remind us that envy is a destructive emotion, and we must be careful not to let it influence our own thinking. Envious people often try to bring others down to their level. They may belittle your achievements or downplay your successes in an attempt to make themselves feel better. It's important to recognize this behavior for what it is, a reflection of their own dissatisfaction with themselves. By distancing yourself from envious individuals, you protect your happiness and ensure that their negativity does not infect your own mindset. Consider a colleague who always seems to downplay your accomplishments. Whenever you share good news, they respond with lukewarm congratulations or point out the downsides. This subtle undermining can chip away at your confidence if you allow it. The Stoic approach would be to recognize that their envy is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own insecurities. By maintaining your focus on your goals and refusing to engage with their negativity, you protect your peace and self-confidence. The Stoics also warn us about the dangers of associating with dishonest people. Dishonesty is a form of moral corruption, and those who are dishonest cannot be trusted. They may lie, cheat, or deceive others to get what they want, and they may try to involve you in their schemes. Associating with dishonest people can damage your reputation, erode your integrity, and lead you into trouble. The Stoics advise us to seek out relationships built on honesty and trust, and to avoid those who lack these qualities. Dishonest people often justify their actions by claiming that everyone does it, or that it's just a little lie. But the Stoics remind us that integrity is non-negotiable. Even small acts of dishonesty can lead to larger moral compromises. By staying true to your principles and avoiding those who are deceitful, you protect your integrity and ensure that your actions align with your values. Imagine a situation where a business partner suggests bending the truth to close a deal. They might argue that it's just a harmless exaggeration and that everyone does it. The Stoic approach would be to stand firm in your commitment to honesty, recognizing that even small dishonest acts can lead to larger moral compromises. By refusing to participate in deceitful practices, you protect your integrity and ensure that your actions align with your values. Another type of person to be cautious of is the perpetually negative individual, the pessimist who sees the worst in every situation and spreads their negativity to those around them. These people are quick to point out what could go wrong, what's not working, and why things will never improve. Their negativity can be contagious, dragging you down into a spiral of despair. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and to approach life with a positive and proactive mindset. By distancing yourself from negative influences, you can maintain a more optimistic outlook and preserve your mental and emotional well-being. Pessimists often mask their negativity as realism, claiming that they are simply being practical or honest about the difficulties of life. But the Stoics encourage us to focus on solutions rather than problems, to look for opportunities in every challenge. Surrounding yourself with people who share this proactive mindset will help you to stay motivated and positive, even in the face of adversity. For example, if you have a friend who constantly complains about their job but never takes any steps to improve their situation, their negativity can begin to wear on you. The Stoic approach would be to listen with compassion but not allow their pessimism to affect your own mindset. Encourage them to take action to improve their situation, but if they continue to focus on the negatives, it may be time to distance yourself from their influence to protect your own well-being. Finally, the Stoics warn us about the dangers of associating with those who lack self-control, people who are driven by their desires and impulses, who act without thinking, and who often find themselves in trouble as a result. These individuals may engage in reckless behavior, make poor decisions, and create chaos in their own lives and the lives of those around them. The Stoics teach us that self-control is a cornerstone of a virtuous life, and we must be mindful of the company we keep. Associating with those who lack self-discipline can lead you down a path of instability and regret. People who lack self-control may pressure you to join them in their reckless behavior, convincing you that just this once won't hurt. But the Stoics remind us that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the person we become. By distancing yourself from those who lack discipline, you protect your own integrity and ensure that your actions are aligned with your long-term goals. Consider a scenario where a friend encourages you to engage in reckless behavior, such as excessive drinking or irresponsible spending. They may argue that it's just for fun and that you should live in the moment. However, the Stoic approach would be to recognize that these actions are not in line with your long-term goals and values. By setting boundaries and refusing to participate, you protect your well-being and ensure that your actions reflect your commitment to self-discipline and integrity. As you reflect on these types of toxic individuals, it's important to remember that avoiding them is not about being judgmental or harsh. It's about protecting your peace, your well-being, and your journey toward a virtuous life. The Stoics teach us that we must be compassionate toward others, but we must also be wise in choosing the company we keep. Not everyone who enters your life will support your growth, and it's up to you to discern who truly has your best interests at heart. Setting boundaries with toxic people is an essential part of this process. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that help you protect your well-being while still maintaining compassion and respect for others. The Stoics remind us that it's okay to say no, to distance ourselves from negative influences, and to prioritize our own peace. This is not an act of selfishness, but an act of self-care and wisdom. For example, if you find yourself constantly drained after spending time with a particular person, it may be a sign that you need to set stronger boundaries with them. This could mean limiting the amount of time you spend with them, choosing not to engage in certain conversations, or even taking a step back from the relationship altogether. The key is to listen to your own needs and to honor them, even if it means making difficult choices. It's also important to recognize that toxic people may not always be aware of the impact they have on others. They may be acting out of their own pain, insecurities, or unresolved issues. While it's not your responsibility to fix or change them, you can approach these situations with compassion and understanding. By setting boundaries with kindness and clarity, you protect yourself while also allowing them the space to work through their own challenges. For instance, if you have a friend who frequently unloads their problems onto you without ever asking how you're doing, it's important to set boundaries. You might say, "I care about you, but I also need to take care of myself. I'm happy to listen, but I also need time to recharge." This approach allows you to maintain the relationship while also protecting your own well-being. As you continue to navigate your relationships, keep the teachings of Stoicism close to heart. Remember that your peace of mind is priceless and that you have the power to protect it by being mindful of the company you keep. By surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, who share your values and support your growth, you create an environment where you can thrive. In this way, the Stoic approach to relationships is not about cutting people out of your life indiscriminately. It's about making intentional choices that reflect your commitment to living a life of virtue, peace, and purpose. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people who bring out the best in you and who contribute positively to your journey. As you move forward, take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life. Are there individuals who consistently bring negativity, drama, or manipulation into your world? Are there people who undermine your confidence, drain your energy, or pull you away from your goals? If so, it may be time to reassess these relationships and consider how you can create more distance or set stronger boundaries. Remember, protecting your peace is not just about avoiding toxic people. It's also about cultivating positive relationships that nourish your soul. Seek out those who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, and who support you in your journey toward a life of purpose and meaning. These are the relationships that will help you stay grounded, focused, and resilient, no matter what challenges come your way. The Stoics understood that the path to inner peace is not a solitary one. It's a journey that is influenced by the people we choose to walk alongside us. By being mindful of the company you keep, you ensure that your journey is one of growth, positivity, and strength. The power to choose your relationships lies in your hands. Use it wisely, and you will find that the path to a peaceful and fulfilling life becomes clearer with each step you take. As you continue to embrace the wisdom of Stoicism, let this understanding of toxic relationships guide you. Let it empower you to make choices that protect your well-being and support your growth. The journey to inner peace is not just about managing your own mind and emotions. It's also about creating an environment that allows you to flourish. By choosing your relationships with care, you create the conditions for a life of true peace, strength, and fulfillment. As you've begun to discern the types of people who might drain your energy and disrupt your peace, you've also taken steps to protect your well-being by setting boundaries and choosing your relationships wisely. But even with these measures, conflicts can still arise. Whether with those close to you or in your everyday interactions, disagreements and misunderstandings are inevitable. The question then becomes, how do you handle these conflicts in a way that preserves your peace and integrity? Imagine a scenario where words are exchanged, tempers flare, and emotions run high. You feel the pull to defend yourself, to argue your point, to ensure you are heard. But what if the most powerful response in these moments wasn't words, but silence? What if, instead of engaging in a heated exchange, you chose to hold back, to remain calm, and to let the storm pass? There is a profound strength in silence, a strength that often goes unnoticed in a world that values loud opinions and quick retorts. The ancient Stoics understood the power of silence. They recognized that not every argument needs to be won with words, and that sometimes the most effective way to resolve a conflict is to say nothing at all. This isn't about avoidance or passivity. It's about exercising control over your own reactions and emotions. By choosing silence, you not only avoid escalating the situation, but you also give yourself the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Silence, when used wisely, can be a powerful tool for de-escalating conflicts and maintaining your inner peace. It allows you to observe the situation from a distance, to see it with clarity rather than through the haze of anger or frustration. It gives you the time to assess what truly matters and to decide whether the conflict is worth your energy. More often than not, you may find that it is not. Consider a moment when you were in the midst of a heated argument. Perhaps it was with a colleague, a friend, or even a loved one. As the tension mounted, you may have felt the urge to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to prove your point. But what if, instead, you had chosen to remain silent? What if, instead of reacting, you had taken a deep breath and allowed the other person's words to wash over you without engaging? This simple act of restraint could have completely altered the course of the conflict, transforming it from a potential battle into a moment of calm reflection. The Stoics believed that true wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. They understood that silence is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is an indication that you are in control of your emotions, that you are not easily swayed by the words or actions of others. This kind of self-mastery is the essence of Stoicism, and it is what allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. Silence also has the power to disarm. In the heat of an argument, people often expect a reaction. They anticipate a counter-argument, a defense, or a retort. When you respond with silence, you disrupt this expectation. You create a pause, a moment of uncertainty that can diffuse the tension and change the dynamic of the conversation. This pause allows both you and the other person to step back, to cool down, and to reconsider your positions. It can be a catalyst for reflection, leading to a more thoughtful and constructive dialogue. There's a certain dignity in silence. It shows that you are not ruled by your emotions, that you are not reactive, but rather reflective. It demonstrates that you value your peace of mind more than the fleeting satisfaction of winning an argument. In this way, silence becomes a shield, protecting you from the potential harm of hasty words and rash decisions. Silence also allows you to listen more deeply. In the midst of a conflict, it's easy to become so focused on what you want to say next that you stop truly listening to the other person. By choosing silence, you give yourself the opportunity to really hear what is being said, to understand the emotions and motivations behind the words. This deeper level of listening can reveal insights that you might have missed otherwise, and can help you respond in a way that is more empathetic and effective. Imagine a situation where someone is criticizing you, perhaps unfairly. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to argue against their accusations. But what if, instead, you simply listened? What if you allowed them to express their frustrations without interrupting, without trying to correct them? This act of silent listening can have a profound effect. It can diffuse their anger, showing that you are willing to hear them out, and it can give you the clarity to respond in a way that addresses the underlying issues rather than just the surface conflict. This approach doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you or that you never stand up for yourself. Instead, it's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about recognizing that not every disagreement requires a verbal response, and that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to remain silent. This kind of restraint is a form of strength, a testament to your ability to control your own mind and emotions. The Stoics also teach us that silence can be a form of protection. In moments of anger or frustration, words can become weapons, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. How many times have you said something in the heat of the moment that you later regretted? By choosing silence, you protect yourself from this kind of self-inflicted harm. You give yourself the time to cool down, to think more clearly, and to decide if what you want to say is truly worth saying. Consider the last time you found yourself in an argument that escalated quickly. Perhaps you said something out of anger, something that you later wished you could take back. The Stoic approach to such situations is to remember the power of silence. By not speaking in the heat of the moment, you avoid saying things that you don't mean, things that could hurt others and damage relationships. This restraint allows you to maintain your integrity and to avoid unnecessary conflict. Silence can also serve as a mirror, reflecting the emotions and intentions of others. When you remain silent in the face of aggression or hostility, it forces the other person to confront their own behavior. Without your reaction to fuel their anger, they are left to sit with their own emotions, to see them for what they are. This can lead to a moment of self-reflection for them, and in some cases, it may even prompt an apology or a change in their approach. There's a story from the Stoic tradition about Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, who was once slapped by an angry man. Instead of reacting with anger or retaliating, Zeno simply smiled and said, "I wasn't expecting this, but I will not allow it to disrupt my peace." This response, or rather the lack of one, disarmed the aggressor completely. Zeno's silence, coupled with his calm demeanor, showed that he was in control of himself, that he would not be provoked into a reaction that compromised his values or peace of mind. This kind of response is not easy. It requires a great deal of self-control and patience, qualities that the Stoics believed were essential for a virtuous life. By practicing silence, you develop these qualities within yourself. You learn to pause before reacting, to consider the consequences of your words, and to choose your responses carefully. Over time, this practice can lead to a profound sense of inner peace, as you become less affected by the words and actions of others. Another powerful aspect of Stoic silence is its ability to shift the focus inward. When you refrain from speaking in a moment of conflict, you create space for introspection. You give yourself the opportunity to examine your own thoughts and emotions, to understand why you feel the way you do, and to decide how you want to move forward. This introspective silence can lead to greater self-awareness, helping you to identify patterns in your reactions and to make conscious choices about how you respond to challenges. For example, if you find yourself frequently arguing with a particular person, silence can give you the space to reflect on why this is happening. Are there underlying issues that need to be addressed? Is there something about this person's behavior that triggers a strong emotional response in you? By exploring these questions in the silence, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and the situation, allowing you to approach the conflict with greater clarity and wisdom. The Stoics also believed that silence is a form of humility. It is an acknowledgement that we do not always have the answers, that we do not always need to have the last word. In a world that often equates speaking out with strength and silence with weakness, the Stoic perspective turns this notion on its head. True strength, the Stoics argue, lies in the ability to hold your tongue, to listen more than you speak, and to recognize that silence can be a powerful statement in its own right. Consider a situation where someone is challenging your beliefs or opinions. the natural instinct might be to argue, to defend your position, to prove that you are right. But the Stoic approach would be to listen, to allow the other person to express their views, and to respond with silence if you feel that the argument is not worth pursuing. This silence is not an admission of defeat. Rather, it is a recognition that not every battle needs to be fought, and that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. This kind of humility can be particularly powerful in relationships, where conflicts often arise from a need to be right or to assert control. By choosing silence in these moments, you demonstrate that you value the relationship more than winning the argument. This can lead to greater harmony and understanding, as both parties are given the space to reflect on their own positions and to come together in a more thoughtful and constructive way. In addition to its role in conflict resolution, the power of Stoic silence extends to everyday interactions. In a world filled with noise, constant chatter, social media, endless opinions, choosing silence can be a radical act. It is a way of reclaiming your time, your attention, and your peace of mind. It allows you to step back from the noise, to tune out the distractions, and to focus on what truly matters. Imagine starting your day with a period of silence, a moment of calm before the chaos begins. This simple practice can set the tone for the rest of your day, helping you to approach your tasks with a clear mind and a calm heart. By incorporating moments of silence into your daily routine, you create a space for reflection, for mindfulness, and for inner peace. The Stoics believed that silence was not just the absence of noise, but the presence of something deeper, a connection to your inner self, to your values, and to the world around you. By cultivating this kind of silence, you develop a deeper sense of awareness and presence, allowing you to move through life with greater intention and purpose. In practical terms, embracing the power of silence can mean choosing not to engage in gossip, refraining from participating in pointless debates, or simply taking a few moments each day to sit quietly and reflect. It's about recognizing that not everything requires a response, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is to say nothing at all. As you continue to explore the teachings of Stoicism, consider how you might incorporate more silence into your life. Reflect on the moments when silence could have served you better than words, and think about how you can use silence as a tool for growth, reflection, and conflict resolution. Remember, silence is not about passivity or avoidance. It's about choosing your responses wisely, protecting your peace of mind, and staying true to your values. In the end, the power of Stoic silence lies in its ability to transform how you interact with the world. It allows you to approach conflicts with calmness and clarity, to listen more deeply, and to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. It's a practice that, when embraced fully, can lead to a life of greater peace, strength, and fulfillment. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of a conflict, or simply overwhelmed by the noise of the world, remember the power of silence. Embrace it, use it, and let it guide you toward a life of greater wisdom and tranquility. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of peace, clarity, and strength, the very qualities that lie at the heart of Stoicism. To delve deeper into the role of silence, consider the impact it has on personal growth. Silence creates the space needed for reflection and self-examination. When you allow yourself moments of quiet contemplation, you give yourself the opportunity to process your experiences, to learn from them, and to grow. This is particularly important in the aftermath of a conflict. Instead of ruminating over what was said or what could have been done differently, silence allows you to let go of these thoughts and focus on what you can learn from the experience. Imagine a time when you felt hurt or misunderstood by someone's words. It's natural to replay the conversation in your mind, to think about how you could have responded differently, or to dwell on the pain caused by their words. But what if, instead of letting these thoughts take over, you chose to sit in silence and reflect? In this quiet space, you can begin to understand your own emotions, to identify what triggered your reaction, and to consider how you might respond differently in the future. This kind of introspective silence can lead to greater emotional resilience, helping you to navigate future conflicts with more grace and composure. Moreover, silence can be a powerful tool for self-discipline. The Stoics placed great importance on the mastery of one's impulses and desires, and silence is a key aspect of this discipline. By choosing silence in moments of temptation, whether it's the temptation to lash out in anger, to gossip, or to indulge in idle chatter, you strengthen your ability to control your own actions. This self-discipline is not about suppressing your emotions, but about channeling them in ways that are constructive rather than destructive. For example, think about a time when you were tempted to say something in the heat of the moment that you knew you might later regret. Perhaps it was a cutting remark, a piece of gossip, or a thoughtless comment. By choosing silence instead, you exercised control over your impulses, protecting yourself and others from the potential harm of your words. This kind of self-discipline is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, and it is what allows you to live in alignment with your values. Silence also plays a crucial role in meditation and mindfulness practices, which are central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed in the importance of daily reflection, taking time each day to review their actions, thoughts, and intentions. This practice of self-examination is best done in silence, free from the distractions of the outside world. By creating a quiet space for reflection, you allow yourself to connect with your inner self, to gain clarity on your goals, and to realign with your values. Imagine starting or ending your day with a few minutes of silent reflection. During this time, you might review the events of the day, consider how you handled various situations, and think about what you want to focus on tomorrow. This practice not only helps you to stay grounded and focused, but it also allows you to learn from your experiences and to grow as a person. Over time, this daily practice of silence can lead to a deeper sense of inner peace and fulfillment. In relationships, silence can be a powerful way to show respect and empathy. Sometimes the best way to support someone is not by offering advice or trying to fix their problems, but by simply being present and listening in silence. This kind of silence communicates that you are fully there for the other person, that you are giving them your undivided attention, and that you respect their feelings and experiences. Consider a time when a friend or loved one was going through a difficult time. They might have needed to vent, to express their frustrations, or to share their fears. In these moments, your silence can be more valuable than any words you could offer. By listening without interrupting, without trying to solve their problems or offer advice, you give them the space to process their emotions and to feel truly heard. This kind of empathetic silence can strengthen your relationships and create deeper connections with those you care about. Finally, the power of Stoic silence extends to the way you interact with the world around you. In a society that often values noise, whether it's the constant chatter of social media, the rush to voice opinions, or the pressure to always be doing something, choosing silence can be a radical act of defiance. It's a way of reclaiming your time, your attention, and your energy. It's about recognizing that you don't have to be constantly engaged in the noise of the world, that you can step back, create your own quiet space, and focus on what truly matters. Imagine the impact this could have on your life. By choosing to incorporate more silence into your daily routine, you create space for reflection, for creativity, and for deeper connections with yourself and others. You become more intentional in your actions, more thoughtful in your words, and more grounded in your values. This kind of silence is not about withdrawing from the world, but about engaging with it in a more meaningful and purposeful way. As you continue to explore the teachings of Stoicism, consider how you can embrace the power of silence in your own life. Reflect on the moments when silence could have served you better than words, and think about how you can use silence as a tool for growth, reflection, and conflict resolution. Remember, silence is not about passivity or avoidance. It's about choosing your responses wisely, protecting your peace of mind, and staying true to your values. In the end, the power of Stoic silence lies in its ability to transform how you interact with the world. It allows you to approach conflicts with calmness and clarity, to listen more deeply, and to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. It's a practice that, when embraced fully, can lead to a life of greater peace, strength, and fulfillment. So the next time you find yourself in the midst of a conflict, or simply overwhelmed by the noise of the world, remember the power of silence. Embrace it, use it, and let it guide you toward a life of greater wisdom and tranquility. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of peace, clarity, and strength, the very qualities that lie at the heart of Stoicism. By making silence a regular practice, you create a space for growth, for understanding, and for the deep, lasting peace that comes from living in alignment with your true self. As you've embraced the power of silence, learning to navigate conflicts with grace and calmness, you've already taken a significant step toward a more peaceful and resilient life. But Stoicism isn't just about managing conflicts or avoiding negativity. It's also about actively crafting a life of purpose, success, and fulfillment. Imagine waking up every day with a clear sense of direction, knowing that each day holds the potential for growth, achievement, and inner peace. What if, instead of just getting through the day, you could make every single day a victory? Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most revered Stoic philosophers, believed that this was not only possible, but essential. As a Roman emperor, he faced immense challenges, yet he managed to approach each day with wisdom, discipline, and a deep commitment to living according to his values. His writings, preserved in what we now call the Meditations, offer a treasure trove of practical advice on how to live each day with intention and integrity. In a world filled with distractions and pressures, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and lost. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the power to shape our lives lies within our daily actions and choices. By incorporating simple yet profound practices into your routine, you can transform each day into a series of small victories, building a life that reflects your highest aspirations. This journey isn't about striving for perfection or achieving grand successes every single day. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset and habits that allow you to find fulfillment in the ordinary, to turn challenges into opportunities, and to live in alignment with your core values. Imagine the sense of accomplishment you would feel at the end of each day, knowing that you've made progress, however small, toward your goals, and that you've lived in a way that honors who you truly are. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius is not reserved for philosophers or emperors. It's available to anyone who seeks to live with purpose and clarity. His methods are timeless, practical, and deeply human. They acknowledge the struggles we all face, the distractions, the setbacks, the doubts, but offer a path to rise above them, to find meaning in the mundane, and to make each day count. Consider for a moment the possibility of redefining what it means to have a successful day. Success isn't just about ticking off tasks or reaching milestones. It's about how you approach each moment, how you handle challenges, and how you grow from your experiences. What if you could end each day with the quiet confidence that you've done your best, that you've lived true to your principles, and that you've made meaningful progress toward your goals. Marcus Aurelius believed that this kind of daily victory is within reach for everyone. His methods are not complicated or esoteric. They are simple practices that, when applied consistently, can transform your life. These practices don't require you to change who you are. Instead, they invite you to become more of who you are, to align your actions with your values, to approach each day with intention, and to find fulfillment in the process. One of the foundational practices that Marcus Aurelius emphasized is the importance of setting your intentions at the start of each day. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly what you want to achieve and how you want to conduct yourself throughout the day. This doesn't mean that you have to accomplish monumental tasks every day, but rather that you approach each day with a mindset of purpose and clarity. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to rise with the dawn, to greet the day with a spirit of readiness, and to be mindful of the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. This practice of setting intentions is not about creating a rigid plan, but about cultivating a mindset of awareness and preparation. It's about recognizing that each day is an opportunity to live in alignment with your values, to grow, and to contribute to the world around you. Consider how this might look in your own life. Before you start your day, take a moment to reflect on what's important to you. What do you want to achieve today? How do you want to treat others? How do you want to respond to the challenges that will inevitably arise? By setting these intentions, you create a guiding framework for your day, a framework that helps you stay focused, grounded, and true to your principles. But intentions alone are not enough. Marcus Aurelius understood that action is essential, and that it's the small, consistent actions we take each day that ultimately shape our lives. He believed in the power of routine, in the importance of cultivating habits that support our goals and well-being. Imagine the cumulative effect of consistently taking small, positive actions every day. Over time, these actions add up, creating a foundation of success and fulfillment. One way to ensure that each day is a victory is to break your goals into manageable tasks and to approach them with diligence and focus. This isn't about doing more or filling your day with endless tasks. It's about doing what matters most and doing it well. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on what is within our control and letting go of what is not. By directing your energy toward what you can influence, you not only increase your effectiveness, but also reduce unnecessary stress and frustration. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by a long to-do list or a challenging project. It's easy to get lost in the details, to feel paralyzed by the enormity of the task. But what if, instead of focusing on the entire project, you broke it down into smaller, more manageable steps? By tackling one step at a time, you make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. This approach not only makes large tasks more manageable, but also allows you to experience small victories throughout the day, keeping you motivated and engaged. Marcus Aurelius also believed in the power of mindfulness, of being fully present in each moment. In a world that constantly pulls our attention in 1,000 different directions, mindfulness is a way to reclaim your focus, to engage deeply with whatever you are doing, and to find meaning in even the most ordinary tasks. Imagine the satisfaction of knowing that you've given your full attention to the task at hand, whether it's a work project, a conversation with a loved one, or simply enjoying a meal. Mindfulness is not just about being present, it's about being fully engaged, bringing your best self to whatever you are doing. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of paying attention to the present moment, of doing each task with care and intention. By cultivating mindfulness, you not only improve your focus and productivity, but also enhance your experience of life. You begin to see each moment as an opportunity to live fully, to appreciate the simple pleasures, and to find joy in the process. Consider how you can incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. It might be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before starting a task, or as intentional as setting aside time each day for quiet reflection. By making mindfulness a regular practice, you create a deeper connection with your daily activities, allowing you to find fulfillment in even the most routine tasks. Another key aspect of making every day a victory, according to Marcus Aurelius, is the practice of gratitude. In his meditations, he frequently reminded himself to be grateful for what he had, to appreciate the beauty and goodness in the world, and to focus on the positive aspects of life. Gratitude is not just a passive feeling, it's an active practice that involves recognizing and appreciating the good things in your life, no matter how small. Imagine how your perspective might change if you made a habit of focusing on what you're grateful for each day. Instead of dwelling on what's missing or what's going wrong, you shift your focus to what's going well, to the blessings you already have. This practice of gratitude can have a profound impact on your mood, your mindset, and your overall sense of well-being. It helps you to see the positives in every situation, to find joy in the simple things, and to approach each day with a sense of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude also helps to put challenges in perspective. When you're faced with difficulties, it's easy to become consumed by them, to feel as though the challenges are all that exist. But by cultivating gratitude, you remind yourself that there is still good in your life, that there are still things to be thankful for. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems, but rather approaching them with a balanced perspective, recognizing that they are just one part of a much larger picture. To make gratitude a regular part of your life, consider starting a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes, the smallest moments can bring the most joy. By regularly reflecting on what you're thankful for, you train your mind to focus on the positives, creating a foundation of contentment and peace that carries you through the day. Marcus Aurelius also understood the importance of self-discipline in achieving daily victories. He believed that discipline was the key to living a life of purpose, to staying true to one's values, and to making progress toward one's goals. Discipline is not about harshness or rigidity. It's about creating structure and consistency in your life so that you can pursue your goals with focus and determination. Imagine how much more you could achieve if you approached each day with a sense of discipline and purpose. This doesn't mean filling your day with endless tasks or denying yourself pleasure. Rather, it's about making conscious choices that align with your values and goals. It's about recognizing that each small action you take contributes to the larger picture of your life, and that by staying disciplined, you ensure that your actions are moving you in the right direction. One way to cultivate discipline is to establish daily routines that support your goals and well-being. This might involve setting aside time each day for exercise, for focused work, or for personal reflection. By creating routines, you reduce the need for constant decision-making, allowing you to conserve your mental energy for more important tasks. Routines also provide a sense of stability and predictability, which can be especially helpful during times of stress or uncertainty. Consider how you might establish routines that align with your goals and values. For example, if one of your goals is to improve your physical health, you might establish a morning routine that includes exercise, healthy eating, and time for mindfulness. By making these activities a regular part of your day, you create a foundation of health and well-being that supports all of your other goals. Another important practice that Marcus Aurelius emphasized is the importance of reflection. At the end of each day, he would take time to review his actions, to consider how he had lived in alignment with his values, and to identify areas for improvement. This practice of reflection is not about self-criticism or dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning and growth. It's about recognizing what you did well, what you could do better, and how you can continue to improve. Imagine how much more you could learn from your experiences if you took time each day to reflect on them. By regularly reviewing your actions and decisions, you gain insights into your own behavior, allowing you to make adjustments and improvements over time. This practice of reflection helps you to stay on track, to avoid repeating mistakes, and to continue growing as a person. To incorporate reflection into your daily routine, consider setting aside a few minutes each evening to review your day. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do well today? Where could I improve? Did I live in alignment with my values? What can I do differently tomorrow? By making reflection a regular practice, you create a feedback loop that supports continuous growth and improvement. Finally, Marcus Aurelius believed in the power of perspective, of recognizing the impermanence of life and the smallness of our daily concerns in the grand scheme of things. This perspective is not meant to diminish the importance of your goals or challenges, but to remind you that life is fleeting and that each day is an opportunity to live fully, to grow, and to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Imagine how your approach to each day might change if you kept this perspective in mind. Instead of getting bogged down by the small stresses and frustrations of daily life, you might focus more on what truly matters, on your relationships, your growth, and your contributions to the world. This perspective helps you to stay grounded, to let go of unnecessary worries, and to approach each day with a sense of purpose and gratitude. To cultivate this perspective, consider incorporating practices like meditation or journaling into your routine. These practices can help you to connect with your deeper values, to gain clarity on what's truly important, and to keep the bigger picture in mind as you navigate your daily life. As you continue to explore the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and the practices that he advocated, remember that making every day a victory is not about achieving perfection or grand success. It's about living each day with intention, with discipline, and with a commitment to your values. It's about finding fulfillment in the small, daily actions that contribute to your larger goals and aspirations. By incorporating these practices into your daily routine, setting intentions, taking consistent action, practicing mindfulness and gratitude, cultivating discipline, reflecting on your actions, and maintaining perspective, you can transform each day into a series of small victories. These victories, when accumulated over time, create a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true success. So, as you wake up each morning, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. Approach each day with a sense of readiness, with the knowledge that you have the power to make each day a victory. Focus on what you can control, stay true to your values, and take deliberate, purposeful action toward your goals. In doing so, you will not only achieve success in the traditional sense, but also find deeper fulfillment and meaning in your daily life. The journey toward making every day a victory is a lifelong process, one that requires patience, perseverance, and a commitment to continuous growth. But with the guidance of Marcus Aurelius and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, you have the tools you need to make this journey a rewarding and transformative one. So, embrace each day as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live fully, and let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you toward a life of lasting success and fulfillment. As you've begun to make every day a victory by applying the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, you've likely felt the profound impact of living with intention, discipline, and mindfulness. These practices help you to approach each day with clarity and purpose, transforming even the most mundane tasks into meaningful steps toward a life of fulfillment. But even as you strive to make the most of each day, there can still be a lingering sense of restlessness, a feeling that no matter how much you accomplish, there's always something more to chase. This relentless pursuit, this constant drive to achieve, to control, to push forward, can it sometimes lead you away from the very peace and contentment you seek? Imagine a life where you're no longer driven by the need to chase after every goal, where you're no longer caught in the endless cycle of striving and struggling. What if you could let go of the constant pressure to achieve more, to be more, and instead find peace in simply being? The Stoics, with their deep understanding of the human condition, recognized that the pursuit of external success, while often necessary, can easily become a source of anxiety and dissatisfaction. They taught that true peace comes not from the relentless chase, but from the ability to let go, to accept life as it is, and to find contentment in the present moment. This is not about giving up on your goals or ambitions. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome, to force things to happen, and instead, learning to live in harmony with the flow of life. Consider the sense of relief you might feel if you could release the burden of always striving for more. What if you could shift your focus from chasing after what you don't have to appreciating what you do have? This doesn't mean abandoning your goals or settling for less. It means approaching your life with a sense of balance, where your actions are guided by your values and your efforts are aligned with what truly matters to you. In this way, you move from a state of constant striving to one of peaceful living. The Stoic path to peace is about letting go of the things you cannot control and embracing the things you can. It's about recognizing that while you have the power to shape your actions, you do not have the power to control the outcomes. This understanding frees you from the anxiety of trying to manage everything, allowing you to focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and to find peace in the process. Imagine how your life might change if you stopped chasing after every external marker of success and instead started living in alignment with your inner values. What if you measured your success not by what you achieved, but by how you lived each day? This shift in perspective can lead to a profound sense of peace, as you move from a life of constant striving to one of contentment and fulfillment. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. This idea encourages us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, both the good and the bad, as necessary and meaningful parts of our journey. Instead of resisting or trying to change the things that don't go our way, we learn to accept them with grace and even gratitude. This doesn't mean passively accepting whatever comes our way. Rather, it means choosing to see every experience as an opportunity for growth and understanding. Consider a time when something didn't go as planned. Perhaps a project failed, a relationship ended, or an opportunity was lost. The instinctive reaction might be to resist, to fight against the reality of the situation, to lament what could have been. But what if, instead, you embraced the situation as it was? What if you saw it as a part of your path, as something that, while painful, could ultimately lead to growth and insight? By practicing amor fati, you shift from a mindset of resistance to one of acceptance, allowing you to find peace even in difficult circumstances. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up on your goals or aspirations. It means approaching them with a sense of detachment. You do your best, you put in the effort, but you also understand that the outcome is not entirely in your hands. This detachment frees you from the anxiety and stress of constantly trying to control everything, allowing you to focus on what truly matters: how you live your life, how you treat others, and how you grow as a person. Another powerful Stoic practice for finding peace is the cultivation of inner stillness. In a world that is constantly pushing us to do more, achieve more, and be more, the idea of stillness can seem almost revolutionary. But this stillness is not about inactivity or disengagement. It's about finding a calm and centered place within yourself, from which you can approach life's challenges with clarity and composure. Imagine starting each day not with a rush to get things done, but with a moment of stillness, a few minutes to breathe, to reflect, to connect with your inner self. This practice of stillness helps you to step back from the busyness of life, to gain perspective, and to approach your day with a sense of calm and focus. It's about creating a space within yourself where you can find peace, no matter what is happening around you. Stillness is also about learning to be present, to fully engage with the moment, rather than constantly looking ahead to the next task, the next goal, the next achievement. When you're fully present, you're able to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds, to find joy in the simple moments, and to connect more deeply with the people and experiences that matter to you. This presence allows you to live more fully, to experience life not as a series of tasks to be completed, but as a journey to be savored. To cultivate this inner stillness, consider incorporating practices like meditation, mindful breathing, or even just a few moments of quiet reflection into your daily routine. These practices help you to center yourself, to let go of the noise and distractions of the outside world, and to connect with your inner peace. Over time, this stillness becomes a source of strength, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. The Stoics also teach us the importance of focusing on what truly matters, of letting go of the superficial pursuits that often consume our time and energy. In a society that often equates success with wealth, status, and external achievements, it's easy to get caught up in the chase for more money, more recognition, more things. But the Stoics remind us that these external markers of success are fleeting, and that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with our values and purpose. Consider how much time and energy you spend chasing after things that, in the end, may not bring you lasting happiness. What if, instead of constantly striving for more, you focused on what's truly important to you? What if you redirected your energy toward the things that bring you joy, meaning, and connection? This shift in focus can lead to a more peaceful and fulfilling life as you let go of the chase for external validation and start living in alignment with your true self. One way to do this is to regularly evaluate your goals and priorities, to ask yourself whether the things you're pursuing are truly aligned with your values and purpose. Are you chasing after things because they genuinely matter to you, or because you feel pressured by societal expectations? By clarifying your true priorities, you can make more intentional choices about where to direct your time and energy, allowing you to live a life that is both peaceful and fulfilling. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of self-sufficiency, of finding contentment within yourself, rather than relying on external circumstances or other people for your happiness. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting relationships. Rather, it means developing a strong sense of inner peace and contentment that is not dependent on external factors. When you cultivate this self-sufficiency, you're able to find peace and fulfillment within yourself, no matter what is happening around you. Imagine how liberating it would be to know that your happiness doesn't depend on anything outside of yourself, not on your job, your possessions, or even your relationships. This doesn't mean that these things don't matter, but rather that they are not the sole source of your happiness. By finding contentment within yourself, you free yourself from the constant chase for external validation, allowing you to live with a greater sense of peace and fulfillment. To cultivate self-sufficiency, the Stoics encourage us to practice simplicity, essentials, to let go of unnecessary desires, joy in the simple things. This might involve simplifying your lifestyle, reducing your dependence, or even just taking time each day to appreciate the simple pleasures of life. A beautiful sunset, a good book, a conversation with a friend. By focusing on the essentials, you create space for what truly matters, allowing you to live with greater peace. Another important aspect of the Stoic path to peace is the practice of gratitude. When you're constantly chasing after more, it's easy to lose sight of what you already have. But by cultivating gratitude, you shift your focus from what's missing to what's present, from what you lack to what you have. This doesn't mean ignoring your goals or settling for less. It means recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life and finding joy in the present moment. Imagine how your perspective might change if you made a habit of focusing on what you're grateful for each day. Instead of dwelling on what's missing or what's going wrong, you shift your focus to what's going well, to the blessings you already have. This practice of gratitude can have a profound impact on your mood, your mindset, and your overall sense of well-being. It helps you to see the positives in every situation, to find joy in the simple things, and to approach each day with a sense of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude also helps to put challenges in perspective. When you're faced with difficulties, it's easy to become consumed by them, to feel as though the challenges are all that exist. But by cultivating gratitude, you remind yourself that there is still good in your life, that there are still things to be thankful for. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems, but rather approaching them with a balanced perspective, recognizing that they are just one part of a much larger picture. To make gratitude a regular part of your life, consider starting a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Sometimes, the smallest moments can bring the most joy. By regularly reflecting on what you're thankful for, you train your mind to focus on the positives, creating a foundation of contentment and peace that carries you through the day. The Stoics also teach us to practice detachment, not from life, but from the outcomes of our actions. This doesn't mean apathy or disengagement. Rather, it means doing your best in every situation while letting go of the need to control the results. Imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if you could release the need to control everything, if you could approach your goals with a sense of detachment, knowing that you've done your best and that the rest is out of your hands. This practice of detachment allows you to focus on the process rather than the outcome, to find joy in the journey rather than constantly striving for the destination. It frees you from the anxiety of trying to control everything, allowing you to live with greater ease and peace. By letting go of the need to control the outcomes, you open yourself up to new possibilities, to unexpected opportunities, and to the flow of life. Consider how this might look in your own life. The next time you're working toward a goal, try shifting your focus from the outcome to the process. Instead of worrying about whether you'll achieve the result you want, focus on doing your best in each moment, on enjoying the work, and on learning from the experience. This shift in focus can reduce stress, increase your enjoyment of the task, and ultimately lead to better outcomes, as you're able to approach the work with a clear and focused mind. The Stoic path to peace is not about giving up on your goals or ambitions. It's about finding a balance between striving and acceptance, between action and stillness. It's about recognizing that while you have the power to shape your actions, you do not have the power to control the outcomes. This understanding frees you from the anxiety of trying to manage everything, allowing you to focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and to find peace in the process. Imagine how your life might change if you embraced this balance, if you let go of the constant pressure to achieve more, to be more, and instead found peace in simply being. What if you could live each day with a sense of ease, knowing that you're doing your best, that you're living in alignment with your values, and that you're finding joy in the journey? This shift in perspective can lead to a profound sense of peace and fulfillment as you move from a life of constant striving to one of contentment and balance. As you continue to explore the teachings of Stoicism, remember that peace is not something you have to chase after. It's something you can cultivate within yourself, through your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. By letting go of the need to control everything, by focusing on what truly matters, and by embracing the present moment, you can find the peace and fulfillment you seek, right here, right now. So, stop chasing and start living. Embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and find peace in the process of living, rather than in the endless pursuit of more. By doing so, you'll discover that true peace comes not from external achievements, but from living in alignment with your values, from finding contentment in the present moment, and from embracing the journey of life with grace and acceptance. As you begin to embrace the Stoic path to peace, letting go of the relentless chase and finding fulfillment in simply living, you may start to notice certain patterns in your behavior, habits that subtly but powerfully pull you away from the tranquility and balance you seek. These habits may seem insignificant at first, just part of the everyday fabric of life. But over time, they can grow, taking root deep within, and begin to erode the peace and contentment you've worked so hard to cultivate. Imagine the freedom and clarity you would experience if you could identify these habits and begin to let them go. What if, instead of being held back by old patterns, you could break free and step into the new year with a fresh sense of purpose and focus? These destructive habits, often ingrained over years, can be difficult to recognize and even harder to change. But with the wisdom of Stoicism as your guide, you can begin to unravel these behaviors, replacing them with habits that support your growth and well-being. Each of us carries habits that no longer serve us, habits that may have once been coping mechanisms or shortcuts, but that now only weigh us down. These habits might manifest as thoughts, actions, or even in how we relate to others. They could be the way we respond to stress, the way we handle criticism, or even how we approach our daily tasks. The Stoics understood that to live a life of virtue, peace, and fulfillment, we must continually strive to improve ourselves, to shed the habits that no longer align with our values, and to cultivate those that bring us closer to our true potential. Consider for a moment the impact that letting go of these destructive habits could have on your life. What if you could step into 2024 with a renewed sense of clarity and purpose, free from the behaviors that have held you back in the past? Imagine the possibilities that would open up, the opportunities for growth, happiness, and peace that would become available to you. This journey of self-improvement is not about perfection. It's about progress, about becoming the best version of yourself, one step at a time. The first habit that often stands in the way of living a fulfilled life is the tendency to procrastinate. We've all experienced that moment of hesitation, the urge to put off a task that seems daunting or unpleasant. But what if procrastination is more than just a minor inconvenience? What if it's a habit that slowly chips away at your confidence, your productivity, and your peace of mind? The Stoics teach us that action, not delay, is the path to progress. By letting go of procrastination and embracing the discipline to take action, you can break free from the cycle of delay and step into a life of greater accomplishment and fulfillment. Procrastination often stems from fear of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of the unknown. But the Stoics remind us that these fears are illusions, that they only have the power we give them. By confronting these fears head-on and taking action, you can begin to dismantle the habit of procrastination, replacing it with a habit of proactive engagement. Imagine how much more you could achieve if you stopped putting things off and started taking action, even if it's just one small step at a time. Another destructive habit that many of us struggle with is negative self-talk. Those critical voices in your head, the ones that tell you you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that you don't deserve happiness, they can be relentless. But what if these voices are not a reflection of reality, but a habit of thinking that you've developed over time? The Stoics teach us that we have the power to choose our thoughts, to reject those that do not serve us, and to cultivate a mindset of self-compassion and resilience. Negative self-talk is often rooted in a fear of failure or rejection. But the Stoics remind us that failure is not the end. It's a part of the journey, an opportunity to learn and grow. By letting go of negative self-talk and embracing a mindset of growth and self-compassion, you can begin to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. Imagine how much more confident and empowered you would feel if you replaced those critical voices with ones that encourage and uplift you. Another habit that can be incredibly destructive is the tendency to compare yourself to others. In a world where social media constantly bombards us with images of other people's successes, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. But the Stoics remind us that the only person we should compare ourselves to is who we were yesterday. By letting go of the habit of comparison and focusing instead on your own growth and progress, you can free yourself from the toxic cycle of envy and self-doubt. Comparison often leads to feelings of inadequacy, of not being enough. But what if you shifted your focus from what others are doing to what you are capable of? What if you celebrated your own progress, no matter how small, rather than measuring yourself against others? By breaking the habit of comparison, you can cultivate a sense of self-worth that is based on your own values and achievements, not on the accomplishments of others. Another habit that can be harmful is holding on to grudges and resentments. We all experience hurt and betrayal, and it's natural to feel anger and resentment toward those who have wronged us. But the Stoics teach us that holding on to these feelings only harms ourselves. By letting go of grudges and practicing forgiveness, you can free yourself from the weight of past hurts and open yourself up to a life of greater peace and happiness. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden of anger and resentment. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of the grudges you've been carrying, if you chose to release the past and focus on the present. By practicing forgiveness, you can create space for healing and growth, allowing you to move forward with a sense of peace and clarity. Another destructive habit that many of us struggle with is the need for control. We all want to feel in control of our lives, but the Stoics remind us that much of what happens in life is beyond our control. By letting go of the need to control everything and learning to accept life as it is, you can free yourself from the anxiety and frustration that comes from trying to manage the unmanageable. The need for control often stems from fear of uncertainty, fear of the unknown, fear of loss. But the Stoics teach us that true peace comes from accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can. By letting go of the need for control and embracing a mindset of acceptance, you can reduce your stress and anxiety and find greater peace in the present moment. Another habit that can be incredibly destructive is the tendency to dwell on the past. We all have regrets, mistakes, and missed opportunities, but the Stoics remind us that the past is gone and cannot be changed. By letting go of the past and focusing on the present, You can free yourself from the pain of regret and create space for growth and new opportunities. Dwelling on the past often leads to feelings of guilt, shame, and sadness. But what if you could release these feelings and focus on what you can do today? What if you could learn from the past without being held captive by it? By letting go of the past, you can create a sense of freedom and possibility, allowing you to move forward with confidence and hope. Another destructive habit that can hold you back is the tendency to avoid difficult emotions. We all experience pain, sadness, and fear, and it's natural to want to avoid these feelings. But the Stoics teach us that facing our emotions head-on, rather than avoiding them, is the path to true healing and growth. By letting go of the habit of avoidance and learning to embrace your emotions, you can develop greater emotional resilience and find peace in even the most difficult circumstances. Avoiding difficult emotions often leads to a cycle of suppression and denial, which can eventually manifest as stress, anxiety, or even physical illness. But what if you could learn to sit with your emotions, to explore them with curiosity and compassion? What if you could see them not as enemies to be avoided, but as teachers to be understood? By embracing your emotions, you can develop a deeper understanding of yourself and cultivate a sense of inner strength and peace. Another habit that can be incredibly destructive is the tendency to seek external validation. We all want to feel valued and appreciated, but the Stoics remind us that true self-worth comes from within, not from the opinions of others. By letting go of the need for external validation and learning to validate yourself, you can develop a sense of self-worth that is independent of outside approval. Seeking external validation often leads to a cycle of insecurity and dependence, where your self-worth is constantly tied to the opinions of others. But what if you could break free from this cycle and develop a sense of self-worth that comes from within? What if you could learn to value yourself for who you are, not for what others think of you? By letting go of the need for external validation, you can cultivate a sense of confidence and self-respect that is unshakable. Another destructive habit that many of us struggle with is the habit of overcommitting. We live in a world that often glorifies busyness, where saying yes to every request is seen as a virtue. But the Stoics teach us that true wisdom lies in knowing our limits and prioritizing our time and energy. By letting go of the habit of overcommitting and learning to say no when necessary, you can create more space for what truly matters in your life. Overcommitting often leads to feelings of overwhelm, stress, and burnout. But what if you could reclaim your time and energy by setting clear boundaries and prioritizing what's most important to you? What if you could learn to say no without guilt, knowing that you're honoring your own needs and values? By letting go of the habit of overcommitting, you can create a sense of balance and fulfillment in your life. Another habit that can be incredibly destructive is the tendency to hold on to material possessions that no longer serve you. We live in a consumer-driven society where accumulating more and more stuff is often seen as a sign of success. But the Stoics remind us that true contentment comes not from having more, but from needing less. By letting go of the habit of accumulation and learning to embrace simplicity, you can create a sense of freedom and peace in your life. Holding on to material possessions often leads to a sense of clutter and overwhelm, where your physical space becomes a reflection of the mental and emotional clutter in your life. But what if you could release the things that no longer serve you, creating space for what truly matters? What if you could find joy in simplicity, in the freedom that comes from needing less? By letting go of the habit of accumulation, you can create a sense of clarity and peace in your life. The final destructive habit that the Stoics teach us to let go of is the habit of blaming others for our problems. It's easy to point the finger at others when things go wrong, to blame them for our difficulties and frustrations. But the Stoics remind us that we are responsible for our own lives, and that blaming others only disempowers us. By letting go of the habit of blame and taking responsibility for your own life, you can reclaim your power and create the life you want. Blaming others often leads to a cycle of resentment and victimhood, where you feel powerless to change your circumstances. But what if you could take responsibility for your own life, recognizing that you have the power to shape your own destiny? What if you could let go of blame and focus instead on what you can do to create the life you want? By letting go of the habit of blame, you can cultivate a sense of empowerment and freedom, allowing you to take control of your life and create the future you desire. As you prepare to step into 2024, take a moment to reflect on the habits that may be holding you back. Which of these habits resonate with you? Which ones are preventing you from living the life you truly want? By identifying these destructive habits and making a conscious decision to let them go, you can create space for new, positive habits that support your growth, happiness, and peace. This journey of self-improvement is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress, about becoming the best version of yourself, one step at a time. The Stoics teach us that true wisdom lies in knowing ourselves, in recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, and in making the choices that align with our values and goals. By letting go of these destructive habits and embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, you can step into a new phase of life with a renewed sense of purpose and focus, ready to create the life you truly desire. So, as you move forward, remember that the power to change your life lies within you. The habits you choose to cultivate and the ones you choose to let go of will shape your future. By embracing the teachings of Stoicism and letting go of the habits that no longer serve you, you can create a life of greater peace, fulfillment, and happiness, one day, one habit at a time. As you let go of the destructive habits that have held you back, you may begin to notice a shift within yourself, a newfound sense of clarity, peace, and purpose. This transformation can create ripples in every area of your life, including the relationships you hold dear. Relationships, after all, are at the heart of the human experience. They bring us joy, connection, and a sense of belonging. But they can also bring pain, conflict, and loss. How then do we navigate the complex terrain of human relationships in a way that honors both our need for connection and our commitment to inner peace? Imagine the possibility of forming deep, meaningful relationships while maintaining a sense of inner calm and detachment. What if you could connect with others fully, sharing in the joys and sorrows of life without losing yourself in the process? This might seem like a delicate balancing act, but it's a central tenet of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to engage with the world while remaining anchored in our own sense of self. The idea of Stoic detachment often brings to mind images of emotional distance or even coldness. But true Stoic detachment is not about withdrawing from others or suppressing your emotions. Rather, it's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to experience the fullness of life, including your relationships, without becoming overly attached to outcomes or to the people themselves. It's about loving deeply and caring sincerely, while also understanding that nothing in life is permanent and that true peace comes from within. Consider for a moment the impact that this approach could have on your relationships. What if you could love and care for those around you without the fear of losing them, without the anxiety of needing them to be a certain way, or the stress of trying to control every aspect of the relationship? What if you could bring your whole self to your relationships, fully present and engaged, while also holding on to your sense of inner peace and independence? The Stoics believed that the key to this kind of deep yet detached connection lies in understanding the nature of human relationships. They recognized that while we can and should care deeply for others, we must also remember that we cannot control other people. We cannot dictate their thoughts, feelings, or actions. We can only control our own responses and our own attitudes. This understanding allows us to engage in relationships with a sense of freedom, free from the need to control or to cling, and free to love others as they are. Imagine the relief that comes from releasing the need to control your relationships, from letting go of the expectations and demands that often create tension and conflict. This doesn't mean that you stop caring or that you become indifferent. Instead, it means that you approach your relationships with a sense of acceptance, understanding that people are as they are, and that your happiness does not depend on them being anything other than what they are. This acceptance forms the foundation of Stoic relationships. It allows you to connect with others from a place of authenticity and honesty, without the pressure to conform to expectations or to mold the relationship into something it's not. When you let go of the need to control or change others, you create space for genuine connection, for relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and love. At the same time, Stoic detachment encourages us to remain anchored in our own values and principles, even as we engage with others. It's easy to lose yourself in relationships, to become so entangled in the lives and emotions of others that you forget your own needs, desires, and boundaries. But the Stoics teach us that true connection does not require self-sacrifice, it requires self-awareness. By maintaining a strong sense of self, you can engage in relationships from a place of strength and clarity, rather than from a place of neediness or insecurity. Imagine how different your relationships might feel if you approach them from a place of inner strength and self-awareness. What if, instead of looking to others to fulfill your needs or validate your worth, you brought your whole, authentic self to the table, confident in who you are and what you stand for? This kind of self-assuredness not only enhances your own well-being, but also strengthens your relationships, creating a foundation of mutual respect and trust. Let's explore how this principle of Stoic detachment can play out in different types of relationships, starting with romantic partnerships. Romantic relationships, with their intensity and emotional depth, often challenge our ability to maintain detachment. The desire to be close, to merge with another person, can sometimes blur the lines between love and dependency. However, the Stoic approach to romance is one that encourages love without possession, connection without dependency, and commitment without losing oneself. In a romantic relationship, Stoic detachment means loving your partner deeply while also recognizing that they are their own person with their own thoughts, feelings, and choices. It means appreciating the bond you share without trying to control or change your partner. This approach allows you to create a relationship built on mutual respect and autonomy, where both partners are free to grow and evolve as individuals, even as they grow together. Consider a situation where your partner makes a decision that you don't agree with, perhaps a career choice, a lifestyle change, or even a way of handling a personal issue. The natural reaction might be to try to persuade them to see things your way, to push for the outcome that you believe is best. But what if, instead, you approached the situation with Stoic detachment? What if you expressed your thoughts and feelings while also respecting your partner's autonomy? This doesn't mean that you disengage or stop caring. It means that you support your partner's right to make their own choices, even when they differ from your own. This kind of detachment doesn't weaken the relationship, it strengthens it. It creates a space where both partners feel valued and respected, where there is room for individuality within the partnership. It fosters a relationship where love is not about possession or control, but about mutual respect, understanding, and support. Stoic detachment is also invaluable in navigating the inevitable conflicts that arise in romantic relationships. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and hurt feelings are a part of any relationship, but how we handle them can make all the difference. When you approach conflicts with detachment, you're able to see the situation more clearly, without being clouded by emotions or the need to be right. You can listen to your partner's perspective with an open mind, respond calmly, and work together to find a resolution that respects both parties. For example, imagine a situation where you and your partner disagree on how to spend your free time. One of you prefers socializing with friends, while the other values quiet time at home. This difference could easily lead to conflict, with each person feeling that their needs are not being met. But if you approach the situation with stoic detachment, you can explore the underlying values and desires of both partners, finding a compromise that honors both perspectives. This approach fosters mutual respect and understanding rather than conflict and resentment. Now let's consider how stoic detachment can be applied to familial relationships. Family ties are often deep and complex, with a mix of love, obligation, and expectation. While these relationships can be a source of great support and joy, they can also be challenging, especially when family dynamics are fraught with tension or unmet expectations. Stoic detachment in familial relationships means loving your family members deeply while also accepting them as they are, without trying to change them or control their actions. In family relationships, detachment can help you navigate situations where you may feel pressured to conform to family expectations, or where you may experience conflict over differing values or lifestyles. By approaching these situations with stoic detachment, you can honor your own values and boundaries while also respecting those of your family members. This doesn't mean that you agree with or condone everything your family members do, but it does mean that you accept them as they are without trying to force change. For instance, consider a scenario where a family member consistently offers unsolicited advice or criticizes your life choices. The instinctive reaction might be to defend yourself or push back against their opinions. But what if, instead, you approached the situation with stoic detachment? What if you listened to their perspective without feeling the need to justify your choices or change their minds? By maintaining your own sense of self, while also respecting their right to their opinions, you can reduce conflict and create a more harmonious relationship. Detachment also plays a crucial role in dealing with the emotional ups and downs that often accompany familial relationships. Family members can sometimes trigger strong emotions, whether it's due to past hurts, unresolved conflicts, or simply the intensity of the bond. Stoic detachment allows you to experience these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It helps you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, to choose how you engage with your family members based on your values rather than on emotional triggers. For example, imagine attending a family gathering where old tensions or unresolved issues surface. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions of the moment, to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. But with stoic detachment, you can step back from the immediate emotions, assess the situation with a clear mind, and choose how to respond in a way that aligns with your values. This might mean setting boundaries, choosing to disengage from a heated conversation, or simply practicing patience and compassion. Friendships, too, benefit from the principles of stoic detachment. Friendships are often seen as the most voluntary and equal of relationships, yet they can still be complicated by expectations, misunderstandings, and changing dynamics. Stoic detachment in friendships means appreciating and enjoying your friend's company without becoming overly dependent on them for your happiness or self-worth. It means valuing the relationship without clinging to it or fearing its end. In friendships, detachment can help you navigate situations where your friend's needs or behavior may change, or where you may need to set boundaries to protect your own well-being. For example, if a friend becomes distant or less available due to changes in their life, it's natural to feel hurt or neglected. But Stoic detachment encourages you to accept these changes with grace, to appreciate the time and connection you do share, without becoming overly attached to the idea of how the friendship should be. Detachment also allows you to maintain your own identity and values within a friendship. It's easy to get swept up in group dynamics or to feel pressured to conform to your friends' expectations or opinions. But by staying anchored in your own sense of self, you can engage with your friends from a place of authenticity and integrity rather than from a need for approval or acceptance. For instance, imagine a situation where your friends encourage you to participate in an activity that doesn't align with your values or interests. The pressure to conform or to avoid conflict might tempt you to go along with the group. But with Stoic detachment, you can respectfully decline, staying true to your own values while still honoring the friendship. This approach not only strengthens your self-respect, but also fosters a more honest and respectful dynamic within the friendship. In professional relationships, Stoic detachment can be especially valuable. The workplace is often a setting where personal and professional boundaries can blur and where emotions can run high due to the pressures of performance, competition, and collaboration. Stoic detachment in the workplace means engaging fully in your work and your relationships with colleagues, while also maintaining a clear sense of your own values, boundaries, and goals. Detachment in professional relationships allows you to navigate conflicts and challenges with a level head, without being swayed by office politics, personal biases, or emotional reactions. It helps you to focus on your work and your professional development, without becoming entangled in drama or losing sight of your own goals. For example, imagine a situation where you're involved in a conflict with a colleague over a project. The conflict could easily escalate, leading to stress, resentment, and a breakdown in communication. But by approaching the situation with Stoic detachment, you can focus on the issue at hand rather than on personal grievances. You can address the conflict calmly and professionally, seeking a resolution that aligns with your values and the goals of the project. Detachment also helps you to maintain your sense of self-worth and confidence in the face of criticism or setbacks in the workplace. The Stoics remind us that while we should strive to do our best, we cannot control how others perceive our work or how situations unfold. By letting go of the need for external validation and focusing on what you can control, your effort, your integrity, your attitude, you can navigate the ups and downs of professional life with greater resilience and peace. Imagine receiving critical feedback on a project you've worked hard on. The natural reaction might be to feel defensive, hurt, or discouraged. But with Stoic detachment, you can view the feedback objectively, recognizing it as an opportunity to learn and improve without letting it undermine your self-worth or your commitment to your work. This approach not only enhances your professional growth, but also helps you to maintain a sense of inner peace and confidence, regardless of external circumstances. Stoic detachment also encourages us to practice empathy without losing ourselves in the emotions of others. Empathy is a powerful tool for connection, allowing us to understand and share in the feelings of others. But it's important to balance empathy with detachment, to offer compassion without becoming overwhelmed by the emotions of those around us. The Stoics teach us that we can care deeply for others while also maintaining our own emotional boundaries, ensuring that we don't take on more than we can handle. Imagine being able to offer empathy and support to those you care about without feeling drained or overwhelmed. What if you could listen to their struggles, share in their joys and sorrows, and offer your support, all while maintaining your own sense of inner peace? This kind of balanced empathy not only strengthens your relationships, but also ensures that you have the energy and emotional resources to care for yourself as well. Stoic relationships are built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and love, values that are nurtured through detachment, empathy, and self-awareness. By embracing these principles, you can create relationships that are both deep and fulfilling, while also maintaining your own sense of peace and independence. This doesn't mean that your relationships will be free from challenges or difficulties, but it does mean that you'll be better equipped to navigate those challenges with grace and resilience. Consider the impact that these Stoic principles could have on your relationships. What if you could build connections that are based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than on neediness or dependence? What if you could love fully, while also maintaining a sense of inner peace and detachment? By embracing these Stoic principles, you can create relationships that are not only deep and meaningful, but also supportive of your own growth and well-being. Stoic detachment also encourages us to practice gratitude in our relationships. It's easy to take the people in our lives for granted, to focus on what's lacking or what could be better. But the Stoics remind us to appreciate the people we have, to recognize the value they bring to our lives, and to express our gratitude for their presence. This practice of gratitude not only strengthens our relationships, but also helps us to cultivate a sense of contentment and fulfillment. Imagine how your relationships might change if you made a habit of expressing gratitude for the people in your life. What if, instead of focusing on what's wrong or what could be better, you took the time to appreciate what's right, to acknowledge the positive qualities and contributions of those around you? This practice of gratitude can transform your relationships, creating a foundation of mutual appreciation and respect. At the same time, Stoic detachment reminds us that relationships are a two-way street. While we can and should do our part to nurture and maintain our relationships, we must also recognize that we cannot control the actions or feelings of others. People change, relationships evolve, and sometimes, despite our best efforts, relationships may come to an end. The Stoics teach us to accept these changes with grace, to let go when necessary, and to trust that new connections and opportunities will come into our lives. Imagine the peace that comes from accepting the impermanence of relationships, from letting go of the need to control or hold on too tightly. What if you could approach your relationships with a sense of openness and acceptance, trusting that the right people will come into your life at the right time, and that those who leave have played their part in your journey? This kind of Stoic acceptance allows you to experience the fullness of relationships without being weighed down by the fear of loss or change. As you continue to explore the teachings of Stoicism, consider how these principles of detachment, empathy, gratitude, and acceptance can be applied to your relationships. By embracing these principles, you can create connections that are both deep and fulfilling, while also maintaining your own sense of inner peace and independence. This journey of building Stoic relationships is not about achieving perfection, but about creating meaningful connections that support your growth, happiness, and well-being. So, as you move forward in your relationships, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Approach your connections with a sense of detachment, empathy, and gratitude. Love fully, but without attachment. Support others, but without losing yourself. And above all, remember that true peace and fulfillment come not from the external world, but from within. By embracing these Stoic principles, you can build relationships that are rich in connection, while also maintaining the inner peace that is the foundation of a fulfilling life. As you've embraced the principles of Stoicism in your relationships, learning to connect deeply without attachment, fostering empathy, and cultivating gratitude, you've likely noticed a profound shift in how you engage with the people in your life. The clarity, peace, and resilience that come from Stoic detachment have allowed you to navigate relationships with grace and strength, creating connections that are both meaningful and harmonious. But this journey of self-mastery doesn't end with relationships. It extends into every aspect of your life, including how you begin each day. Imagine waking up each morning not with a sense of dread or rush, but with calm purpose and determination. What if, instead of letting the chaos of the day dictate your actions, you could start each day with rituals that align you with your values and set the tone for success and fulfillment? The way you start your morning can shape the rest of your day, influencing your mindset, your energy, and your ability to handle challenges. And there's no better way to do this than by incorporating Stoic wisdom into your morning routine. The Stoics believed that every day is an opportunity to live according to your principles, to grow, and to contribute to the world around you. But to seize this opportunity, you need to begin each day with intention. This means more than just getting out of bed and going through the motions. It means crafting a morning routine that prepares your mind, body, and spirit for whatever lies ahead. A routine that not only grounds you, but also empowers you to dominate your day with clarity, focus, and resilience. Consider the impact that a Stoic-inspired morning routine could have on your life. What if, instead of feeling overwhelmed by the demands of the day, you felt equipped to handle anything that comes your way? What if you could start each day with a sense of calm determination, knowing that you're living in alignment with your highest values? This is the power of a morning ritual grounded in Stoic principles. It's not just about productivity, it's about living each day with purpose and clarity. The first step to crafting a powerful morning routine is to start with reflection. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-examination, of taking time each day to reflect on your actions, your thoughts, and your intentions. This practice of reflection helps you to stay aligned with your values and to learn from your experiences. In the morning, this reflection can take the form of a few quiet moments to consider what lies ahead in the day, to set your intentions, and to remind yourself of what truly matters. Imagine sitting quietly at the start of each day, taking a few deep breaths, and asking yourself, what is most important today? How do I want to show up in the world? What can I do today to live according to my values? This simple practice of reflection not only centers you, but also sets a clear direction for your day, helping you to stay focused on what truly matters. This reflective practice is more than just a mental exercise. It's an opportunity to connect deeply with your inner self and to prepare mentally and emotionally for the day ahead. Consider the impact of this practice over time, how starting each day with a clear sense of purpose can influence your decisions, your interactions, and your overall well-being. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. By consistently starting your day with reflection, you cultivate a habit of mindfulness that becomes the foundation of everything you do. Next, consider the role of mindfulness in your morning routine. The Stoics understood the importance of being present, of fully engaging with the moment rather than being distracted by worries about the past or future. Mindfulness in the morning can take many forms, whether it's mindful breathing, meditation, or simply being fully present as you go through your morning activities. This mindfulness helps to calm your mind, reduce stress, and prepare you to approach the day with clarity and focus. For example, imagine the difference between rushing through your morning and taking a few minutes to practice mindfulness. When you rush, your mind is scattered, your body tense, and your mood often irritable. But when you incorporate mindfulness, even simple activities like brushing your teeth or making your bed become opportunities to center yourself and find peace in the present moment. You can take a few deep breaths, notice the sensations in your body, and bring your full attention to what you're doing. This practice grounds you in the here and now, creating a sense of calm that you carry into the rest of your day. Mindfulness also helps you to break free from the autopilot mode that many of us fall into, especially in the mornings. Instead of mechanically going through the motions, you become more aware of your actions and their impact on your day. This awareness allows you to make more deliberate choices, whether it's choosing a healthy breakfast, deciding how to spend your time, or setting the tone for your interactions with others. Incorporating physical well-being into your morning routine is another crucial element of Stoic practice. The Stoics believed in the importance of caring for the body as well as the mind, recognizing that physical health is essential to living a virtuous life. Physical activity in the morning, whether it's a workout, a walk, or some stretching, helps to energize your body and mind, setting you up for a productive and focused day. Consider the impact of starting your day with movement. Physical activity doesn't just wake up your body, it also clears your mind, releases endorphins, and boosts your mood. Whether it's a vigorous workout, a gentle yoga session, or a walk in nature, moving your body in the morning helps you to feel strong, alert, and ready to take on the challenges of the day. This practice is not just about physical fitness. It's about cultivating the energy and resilience needed to live each day with purpose and vigor. Imagine the sense of vitality and strength you would feel if you started each day with some form of physical activity. What if, instead of feeling sluggish or tired, you felt invigorated and ready to take on the day? This physical activity not only boosts your energy levels, but also enhances your mental clarity, helping you to approach your tasks with greater focus and determination. Another powerful aspect of a Stoic morning routine is the practice of gratitude. The Stoics believed in the importance of recognizing and appreciating the good in life, even in the face of challenges. Starting your day with a practice of gratitude, whether it's writing down a few things you're grateful for or simply taking a moment to reflect on the blessings in your life, helps to cultivate a positive mindset and set the tone for a day filled with appreciation and contentment. Gratitude is a practice that shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong or what you don't have, but by consciously practicing gratitude, you remind yourself of the good that exists in your life, no matter how small. This practice doesn't have to be elaborate. Even a few moments spent reflecting on what you're thankful for can have a profound impact on your mood and outlook. Imagine how different your day might feel if you began it with a sense of gratitude. What if, instead of focusing on what's lacking or what's going wrong, you started your day by acknowledging the good in your life? This practice of gratitude not only uplifts your spirits, but also helps you to approach the day with a sense of abundance and positivity. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of setting clear intentions for the day. They believed that to live a virtuous life, you must be intentional in your actions, choosing to act in ways that align with your values and principles. In the morning, this might involve setting specific goals for the day, deciding how you want to spend your time, and committing to act with integrity and purpose. This intentionality helps to ensure that your day is spent in ways that are meaningful and aligned with your highest values. Setting intentions is more than just making a to-do list. It's about connecting with your deeper values and deciding how you want to show up in the world. It's about being deliberate in your actions rather than letting the day control you. By setting clear intentions in the morning, you create a roadmap for your day, one that guides your actions and keeps you aligned with your values. Consider how your day might unfold if you set clear intentions in the morning. What if, instead of being reactive to the demands of the day, you took control of your time and energy, directing them toward what matters most? This intentionality not only increases your productivity, but also ensures that your actions are aligned with your values, helping you to live each day with purpose and fulfillment. Another important aspect of a Stoic morning routine is the practice of resilience. The Stoics understood that life is full of challenges and that to live well, you must be prepared to face difficulties with strength and perseverance. In the morning, this might involve mentally preparing yourself for the challenges that may arise, reminding yourself of your inner strength, and committing to face the day's obstacles with courage and resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to stay strong in the face of adversity, and to keep moving forward despite difficulties. By incorporating resilience into your morning routine, you prepare yourself not just for the good moments, but for the challenges that will inevitably come. This might involve affirming your strength, visualizing how you'll handle obstacles, or simply reminding yourself that you have the inner resources to overcome whatever comes your way. Imagine starting each day with a sense of resilience, knowing that no matter what challenges arise, you have the strength and determination to overcome them. What if, instead of dreading the difficulties of the day, you approach them with confidence, ready to tackle whatever comes your way? This resilience not only helps you to navigate challenges more effectively, but also enhances your overall sense of confidence and well-being. Finally, a Stoic morning routine includes the practice of connection, both with yourself and with others. The Stoics believed in the importance of community and relationships, recognizing that we are all connected and that our actions affect those around us. In the morning, this might involve taking a moment to connect with your loved ones, to check in with yourself, or to reflect on how you can contribute to the well-being of others throughout the day. Connection is about recognizing the importance of relationships and community in your life. It's about taking the time to nurture these connections, whether it's by reaching out to a loved one, offering a kind word to a colleague, or simply being present in your interactions with others. By starting your day with a focus on connection, you remind yourself of the importance of compassion, empathy, and kindness in your daily interactions. Imagine starting your day by connecting with yourself and others, taking a moment to express love and appreciation, to check in on your own needs, and to consider how you can make a positive impact on the world. What if, instead of rushing into the day's tasks, you began with a sense of connection and purpose? This practice not only strengthens your relationships, but also grounds you in a sense of purpose, helping you to approach the day with a heart full of love and a mind full of clarity. As you begin to implement these morning rituals, consider how they might transform your daily life. What if, instead of feeling rushed or overwhelmed, you started each day with a sense of calm determination, fully aligned with your values and ready to take on whatever comes your way? What if you could dominate each day, not by force or struggle, but by living in harmony with your principles and embracing the wisdom of the Stoics? This journey of creating a powerful morning routine is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking small, intentional steps each morning to align yourself with your highest values and to set the tone for a day filled with purpose, clarity, and peace. By embracing these Stoic rituals, you can create a morning routine that not only enhances your productivity, but also enriches your life, helping you to live each day as a true reflection of who you are and what you stand for. As you integrate these practices into your life, remember that consistency is key. The power of a morning routine lies not in grand gestures, but in the small, consistent actions you take each day. Over time, these rituals become ingrained in your life, creating a foundation of strength, resilience, and purpose that carries you through each day with grace and determination. Reflect on the days when everything seems to flow effortlessly, when challenges are met with calm and clarity, and when you feel deeply connected to your values and purpose. These are the days when your morning routine has set the stage for success. By starting your day with reflection, mindfulness, physical activity, gratitude, intention, resilience, and connection, you build the mental, emotional, and physical strength needed to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and composure. And as you move through each day, remember that every morning is a new opportunity to recommit to your values, to realign with your purpose, and to approach the world with a stoic mindset. The morning is a sacred time, a chance to prepare yourself for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. By embracing a Stoic-inspired morning routine, you empower yourself to live each day with intention, clarity, and inner peace. So, as you rise each morning, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Approach each day with a sense of reflection, mindfulness, and gratitude. Set clear intentions, cultivate resilience, and connect with yourself and others. By doing so, you'll not only dominate your day, but also create a life of greater meaning, fulfillment, and peace. This is the power of a Stoic-inspired morning routine, a routine that empowers you to live each day with purpose and to embrace the journey of self-mastery with grace and determination. As you've crafted a morning routine that aligns you with Stoic principles, setting the stage for each day to unfold with purpose and clarity, you've already taken significant strides toward living a life of intentionality and inner peace. Every morning you rise with the knowledge that you are in control of how you respond to the world, that your actions reflect your values, and that you are prepared to meet the challenges of the day with resilience and calm. Yet, as the day progresses, another challenge often looms on the horizon: the pursuit of success, wealth, and the material rewards that our society so highly prizes. Imagine standing at the crossroads between material success and your inner values. What if you could achieve your ambitions and build wealth without compromising your integrity, your peace of mind, or the things that truly matter to you? The tension between wealth and virtue is an age-old struggle, one that has tripped up many who have sought to navigate the fine line between ambition and excess. But with the guidance of Stoic wisdom, it's possible to pursue success without losing your soul, to find a balance that allows you to achieve your goals while staying true to your core principles. The desire for wealth and success is a natural part of human life. After all, financial stability can provide security, comfort, and the means to pursue your passions. But the pursuit of wealth can easily become all-consuming, leading you away from the things that truly matter: your relationships, your well-being, and your sense of purpose. The Stoics understood this tension and offered a path that allows you to strive for success without being consumed by it. They taught that wealth, like any other external, is neither inherently good nor bad. It's how you relate to it that determines its impact on your life. Consider the possibility of pursuing success with a sense of detachment. What if, instead of being driven by a relentless desire for more, you approached your goals with clarity and balance, recognizing that wealth is a tool rather than an end in itself? This perspective allows you to maintain your integrity and inner peace, even as you strive to achieve your ambitions. It's about aligning your pursuit of success with your values, ensuring that your actions reflect not just your desire for wealth, but also your commitment to living a life of virtue. The Stoics remind us that true wealth lies not in the accumulation of material possessions, but in the cultivation of wisdom, virtue, and inner peace. This doesn't mean that you should renounce wealth or success, but rather that you should pursue them with an understanding of their proper place in your life. Wealth, when used wisely, can enhance your ability to live a good life. It can provide the means to support your family, to give back to your community, and to create opportunities for growth and learning. But when wealth becomes an obsession, when it takes precedence over your values and relationships, it can lead to a life of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Imagine how different your pursuit of success might feel if it were guided by Stoic principles. What if, instead of chasing wealth for its own sake, you focused on using your resources to support your well-being and the well-being of those around you? What if you measured success not by the size of your bank account, but by the impact you have on the world, the quality of your relationships, and the depth of your personal growth? This shift in perspective can transform the way you approach your career, your finances, and your life as a whole. One of the key Stoic principles that can guide you in your pursuit of wealth is the concept of apatheia, the state of being free from irrational passions and disturbances. In the context of wealth, apatheia means approaching your financial goals with a sense of calm and detachment, rather than being driven by greed, fear, or envy. It's about making financial decisions that are aligned with your values, rather than being swayed by the pursuit of status or the pressure to keep up with others. Consider how apatheia might influence your financial decisions. What if, instead of making choices based on fear of missing out or the desire to impress others, you made decisions that reflect your true needs and values? This might mean prioritizing long-term stability over short-term gains, investing in experiences that enrich your life rather than in possessions that clutter it, or choosing a career that aligns with your passions and principles rather than one that simply offers a high salary. By practicing apatheia, you can approach your financial goals with a sense of balance and clarity, ensuring that your pursuit of wealth supports, rather than undermines, your overall well-being. Another important Stoic concept that can guide your pursuit of success is the idea of eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living a good life. For the Stoics, eudaimonia is not about accumulating wealth or achieving external success, but about living in accordance with virtue and reason. It's about finding fulfillment in the pursuit of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, rather than in the pursuit of material goods. Imagine how your life might change if you measured success by eudaimonia rather than by external markers of wealth or status. What if, instead of striving to accumulate more, you focused on cultivating the qualities that lead to true happiness and fulfillment? This might mean investing in your education, nurturing your relationships, giving back to your community, or simply taking the time to reflect on your values and how you can live in accordance with them. By prioritizing eudaimonia, you can ensure that your pursuit of success is aligned with your deeper goals and values, leading to a life of greater meaning and satisfaction. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of moderation or sophrosin in all aspects of life, including the pursuit of wealth. Moderation means finding a balance between excess and deficiency, between ambition and contentment. It's about recognizing that while wealth can provide comfort and security, it is not the key to happiness, and that an excessive focus on accumulating wealth can lead to a life of imbalance and dissatisfaction. Consider how sophrosyne might influence your approach to wealth and success. What if, instead of constantly striving for more, you practiced contentment with what you have while still working toward your goals? This might mean setting financial goals that are realistic and aligned with your values, avoiding the trap of lifestyle inflation, and being mindful of how your pursuit of wealth affects other areas of your life, such as your health, relationships, and personal growth. Imagine a life where your pursuit of success is guided by moderation, where you achieve financial stability and success without sacrificing your well-being or values. What if, instead of being driven by a relentless desire for more, you found fulfillment in living a balanced life where your financial goals support your overall happiness and well-being? By practicing Stoicism, you can ensure that your pursuit of wealth is sustainable and aligned with your deeper goals and values. Another key Stoic principle that can guide your pursuit of wealth is the concept of ataraxia, a state of tranquility and freedom from anxiety. In the context of wealth, ataraxia means finding peace of mind in your financial life, free from the worries and stresses that often accompany the pursuit of success. It's about recognizing that while financial security is important, true peace of mind comes from within, from living in accordance with your values and maintaining a sense of detachment from external outcomes. Consider how ataraxia might influence your relationship with money. What if, instead of being consumed by worries about your financial future, you cultivated a sense of peace and contentment in the present moment? This might mean setting up a financial plan that provides security and stability, while also practicing mindfulness and gratitude for what you have. It might mean letting go of the need to control every aspect of your financial life and instead focusing on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your response to challenges. Imagine the sense of freedom and peace that comes from achieving ataraxia in your financial life. What if, instead of being driven by anxiety and fear, you approached your financial goals with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you are living in alignment with your values and that your happiness is not dependent on external circumstances? By cultivating ataraxia, you can achieve a state of financial well-being that is both secure and peaceful, allowing you to enjoy the fruits of your labor without being consumed by them. The Stoics also teach us the importance of generosity, or epharmostia, in the pursuit of wealth. Generosity means recognizing that wealth is not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others as well. It's about using your resources to make a positive impact on the world, to support those in need, and to contribute to the well-being of your community. Consider how epharmostia might influence your approach to wealth and success. What if, instead of viewing wealth as something to be hoarded, you saw it as a tool for creating positive change? This might mean donating to causes you care about, supporting those in need, or simply being generous with your time and resources. By practicing epharmostia, you can ensure that your pursuit of wealth is not just about personal gain, but about making a meaningful contribution to the world. Imagine the sense of fulfillment that comes from using your wealth to make a positive impact on the lives of others. What if, instead of measuring success by the amount of money you accumulate, you measured it by the difference you make in the world? By embracing generosity, you can ensure that your pursuit of wealth is aligned with your values and that your success benefits not just yourself, but those around you as well. Finally, the Stoics remind us that true success is not measured by external markers of wealth or status, but by the quality of our character and the depth of our relationships. They teach us that wealth is a means, not an end, and that the ultimate goal of life is not to accumulate riches, but to live with wisdom, virtue, and inner peace. Consider how this Stoic perspective might influence your definition of success. What if, instead of focusing solely on financial goals, you also prioritized your personal growth, your relationships, and your contribution to the world? This might mean setting goals that reflect not just your desire for wealth, but also your commitment to living a life of purpose and integrity. It might mean pursuing success in a way that honors your values, supports your well-being, and contributes to the greater good. Imagine a life where your pursuit of wealth is guided by Stoic principles, where you achieve success without losing your soul. What if, instead of being driven by a relentless desire for more, you found fulfillment in living a life of balance, purpose, and inner peace? By embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, you can navigate the complex terrain of wealth and success with clarity and integrity, ensuring that your pursuit of success supports, rather than undermines, your overall happiness and well-being. As you continue on your journey towards success, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Approach your financial goals with a sense of detachment, moderation, and generosity. Cultivate inner peace and resilience, and measure success not by the amount of wealth you accumulate, but by the quality of your character and the depth of your relationships. By doing so, you can achieve true wealth, a wealth that is not just material, but also spiritual, emotional, and ethical. So, as you pursue your goals, let Stoic wisdom be your guide. Strive for success, but do so with a clear sense of your values and your purpose. Pursue wealth, but remember that true wealth lies in living a life of virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. By embracing these Stoic principles, you can achieve a life of balance, fulfillment, and true success, one that enriches not just your bank account, but your soul as well. As you've explored the delicate balance of pursuing wealth without losing your soul, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, you've likely begun to see how these principles can be applied to every area of your life. Whether in the pursuit of success, in your relationships, or in the way you approach each day, Stoicism offers a path to living with integrity, purpose, and peace. But what happens when life throws you a curveball, when something or someone challenges your inner peace, triggering emotions that threaten to pull you off course? Imagine being able to maintain your composure no matter what happens around you. What if you could navigate the storms of life with a calm and steady heart, responding to challenges with clarity and wisdom rather than with knee-jerk reactions? The ability to master your reactions is one of the core teachings of Stoicism, and it's a skill that can transform not only how you experience life, but also how you interact with others and make decisions. We all encounter situations that test our patience, provoke our anger, or stir up anxiety. These moments, whether big or small, can easily derail our sense of inner peace and lead us to act in ways that are out of alignment with our values. But the Stoics believed that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. They taught that true strength lies not in avoiding challenges, but in mastering our reactions to them. Consider how your life might change if you could gain control over your reactions. What if, instead of being at the mercy of your emotions, you had the tools to pause, reflect, and choose your response? This is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that everything is fine. It's about developing the inner resilience and clarity to respond in a way that reflects your values and serves your highest good. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques for mastering your reactions is the practice of mindfulness. The Stoics believed that awareness is the first step towards self-mastery. By becoming aware of your thoughts and emotions as they arise, you create a space between the stimulus and your response, a space where you can choose how to react. Mindfulness is about paying attention to what's happening inside you without judgment and with a focus on the present moment. Imagine the next time you feel your temper rising or anxiety creeping in. What if, instead of immediately reacting, you took a moment to notice what's happening inside you? You might observe the physical sensations of tension or discomfort, the racing thoughts, or the urge to act out of frustration. This simple act of observation can help you to step back from the intensity of the emotion and approach the situation with greater clarity and calm. Mindfulness also allows you to identify the triggers that set off your reactions. By paying attention to the situations, people, or thoughts that provoke strong emotions, you can begin to understand why you react the way you do. This understanding is the first step toward changing your habitual responses and developing more constructive ways of dealing with challenges. For example, imagine you're in a situation where a colleague makes a comment that feels dismissive or condescending. Your instinctive reaction might be to snap back, to defend yourself, or to harbor resentment. But if you practice mindfulness, you can take a step back and observe your initial reaction without immediately acting on it. You might notice that your anger is triggered by a deeper insecurity or a past experience, and this awareness can help you to choose a more measured and thoughtful response, perhaps addressing the comment calmly or choosing to let it go altogether. Another Stoic technique for mastering your reactions is the practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally preparing yourself for the challenges and setbacks that you may face, so that when they occur, you are not caught off guard. The Stoics believed that by imagining potential difficulties in advance, you can reduce their impact and approach them with a calm and prepared mind. Premeditatio malorum is about anticipating the challenges of life, not in a pessimistic way, but as a form of mental and emotional preparation. By considering what might go wrong, you become less susceptible to shock or dismay when things don't go as planned. This practice allows you to cultivate a mindset of resilience and adaptability, so that when adversity strikes, you are ready to respond with composure and strength. For instance, let's say you have an important presentation at work. You might practice premeditatio malorum by imagining different scenarios that could arise: technical difficulties, difficult questions from the audience, or even the possibility that the presentation might not go as well as you hope. By mentally rehearsing these possibilities, you prepare yourself to handle them with grace and poise, rather than being thrown off balance if they occur. This doesn't mean you expect things to go wrong, but rather that you're ready to face whatever happens with a steady mind. The Stoics also taught the importance of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. This principle is central to Stoic philosophy and is a key technique for mastering your reactions. When faced with a challenging situation, the Stoics remind us to ask, "What is within my control and what is not?" By directing your energy and attention toward what you can influence and accepting what you cannot change, you reduce unnecessary stress and frustration. This principle is particularly powerful when applied to situations that are beyond your control, such as other people's behavior, external circumstances, or even certain aspects of your own life. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting, it's easy to become frustrated, anxious, or angry. But if you focus on what you can control, your own attitude, how you use the time in the car, or how you communicate with others about the delay, you can shift from a state of helplessness to one of empowerment. Imagine a situation where you feel overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control, whether it's a traffic jam, a delayed flight, or someone else's behavior. What if, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you focused on what you could control? This might mean adjusting your plans, finding a way to make the most of the situation, or simply practicing patience. By letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies these situations. Another powerful Stoic technique is the practice of reframing, or cognitive restructuring. This involves changing the way you interpret and think about a situation in order to alter your emotional response to it. The Stoics believed that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. By changing your perspective, you can change your emotional response and reduce the intensity of negative emotions. Reframing is about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, setbacks as lessons, and difficulties as chances to practice virtue. It's a way of shifting your mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. For example, if you receive criticism at work, instead of viewing it as a personal attack or a sign of failure, you might reframe it as valuable feedback that can help you improve. By changing the way you perceive the situation, you change the way you feel about it, and in turn, the way you respond. Consider a situation where you might typically react with frustration or disappointment, such as receiving criticism at work or facing a setback in a project. What if, instead of seeing the situation as a failure or a personal attack, you reframed it as an opportunity for growth and learning? By shifting your perspective, you can reduce the negative impact of the situation and respond in a way that is constructive and aligned with your values. The Stoics also emphasized the practice of voluntary discomfort, or ascesis, as a way to build resilience and master your reactions. This involves deliberately exposing yourself to situations that challenge your comfort or desires in order to strengthen your ability to endure discomfort and remain calm in the face of adversity. By practicing ascesis, you train yourself to respond to discomfort with composure and to develop a greater tolerance for difficult situations. Ascesis is about stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. This might involve physical practices, such as fasting, taking cold showers, or engaging in strenuous exercise, as well as mental and emotional practices, such as facing fears, practicing patience in difficult situations, or deliberately choosing to do something you find uncomfortable or challenging. Imagine how ascesis might help you in everyday life. What if, instead of avoiding discomfort, you embraced it as an opportunity to grow stronger? This might mean practicing physical discipline, such as taking cold showers or fasting, or it might involve emotional discipline, such as facing a fear or having a difficult conversation. By deliberately stepping into discomfort, you build the mental and emotional resilience needed to handle life's challenges with grace and composure. For example, if you have a fear of public speaking, you might practice ascesis by deliberately seeking out opportunities to speak in front of others, starting with small groups and gradually building up to larger audiences. Each time you step into this discomfort, you strengthen your ability to handle the fear and respond with calm and confidence. Over time, this practice not only helps you master your reactions, but also builds your self-confidence and resilience. Another essential Stoic technique for mastering your reactions is the practice of memento mori, or the remembrance of death. The Stoics believed that reflecting on the impermanence of life helps to put things into perspective and reduces the intensity of negative emotions. By remembering that life is short and that everything is temporary, you can approach challenges with a sense of detachment and gratitude, rather than with fear or anger. Memento mori is not about being morbid or dwelling on death. Rather, it's about recognizing the fragility and preciousness of life. This perspective helps you to focus on what truly matters and to let go of the small irritations and anxieties that can so easily consume your attention. When you remember that life is finite, the things that once seemed so important, such as a disagreement with a colleague, a minor inconvenience, or a perceived slight, suddenly seem less significant. Consider how memento mori might influence your reactions to difficult situations. What if, the next time you felt stressed or overwhelmed, you reminded yourself of the bigger picture, that life is fleeting and that many of the things we worry about are ultimately insignificant? This perspective helps to reduce the emotional charge of challenging situations and allows you to respond with calm and clarity. For example, if you're feeling frustrated by a delay or setback, you might practice memento mori by reminding yourself that in the grand scheme of things, this moment is just a small blip in the larger arc of your life. This doesn't mean dismissing your feelings or pretending that challenges don't matter, but rather putting them in perspective and responding with a sense of calm and acceptance. Finally, the Stoics taught the importance of practicing gratitude and focusing on the positives in any situation. By cultivating an attitude of gratitude, you can shift your focus away from what's going wrong and toward what's going right. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is fine. It means choosing to recognize and appreciate the good that exists, even in difficult circumstances. Gratitude is a powerful tool for mastering your reactions because it helps you to see beyond the immediate challenges and to recognize the blessings and opportunities that are present in your life. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you can shift your emotional state from one of negativity and frustration to one of positivity and contentment. Imagine how your reactions might change if you made gratitude a regular practice. What if, instead of dwelling on the negatives, you took a moment to acknowledge what you're thankful for? This might mean appreciating the support of a friend during a tough time, recognizing your own strength and resilience, or simply being grateful for the lessons learned from a challenging experience. By focusing on the positives, you reduce the intensity of negative emotions and create a foundation of positivity and resilience. For example, if you're dealing with a difficult situation at work, you might practice gratitude by reflecting on the skills you've developed, the support you've received from colleagues, or the opportunities for growth that the situation has provided. This doesn't mean ignoring the challenges, but rather choosing to focus on the good that exists alongside them. As you begin to integrate these Stoic techniques into your life, consider how they might transform your reactions and your overall experience of life. What if, instead of being at the mercy of your emotions, you developed the inner strength and clarity to choose your response? What if you could navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you have the tools to handle whatever comes your way? This journey of mastering your reactions is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress. It's about developing the skills and habits that allow you to respond to life's challenges in a way that reflects your values and serves your highest good. By embracing these Stoic techniques, you can cultivate the inner resilience and wisdom needed to navigate life with grace and composure. Consider the impact that mastering your reactions could have on your relationships, your career, and your overall well-being. What if, instead of reacting impulsively, you approached every situation with mindfulness, clarity, and purpose? By gaining control over your reactions, you not only improve your own experience of life, but also create more harmonious and constructive interactions with others. Imagine the long-term benefits of mastering your reactions. Over time, these practices become second nature, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease and confidence. You'll find that you're less easily rattled by challenges, more capable of handling difficult situations with grace, and better able to maintain a sense of inner peace and stability no matter what comes your way. As you continue on your journey of self-mastery, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Practice mindfulness, reflect on the impermanence of life, and focus on what you can control. Embrace discomfort as an opportunity for growth and cultivate an attitude of gratitude. By doing so, you'll not only gain control over your reactions, but also build the mental and emotional resilience needed to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and grace. In mastering your reactions, you reclaim your power, the power to choose how you respond to the world, the power to live in alignment with your values, and the power to create a life of purpose and peace. This is the true secret of Stoic wisdom, the ability to maintain your inner equilibrium no matter what challenges arise, and to live each day with clarity, integrity, and inner strength. As you've journeyed through the teachings of Stoicism, exploring the power of mastering your reactions, pursuing wealth with integrity, and crafting a morning routine that aligns with your deepest values, you've begun to unlock the potential for a life lived with purpose, clarity, and inner peace. The wisdom of the Stoics offers more than just a set of philosophical principles. It provides a practical guide to navigating the complexities of modern life, allowing you to face challenges with resilience and to pursue your goals without losing sight of what truly matters. Imagine a life each day with a clear sense of purpose, where you navigate challenges with a calm and steady heart, and where your pursuit of success is balanced with a deep commitment to your values and well-being. This is the life that Stoic principles invite you to create, a life where you are not circumstances, guided by the wisdom and strength that comes from within. As you continue to apply these principles in your daily life, remember that the journey of self-mastery is not about perfection, but progress. Each small step you take toward mastering your reactions, cultivating inner peace, and living in alignment with your values brings you closer to the life you aspire to lead. The path may not always be easy, but with the guidance of Stoicism, you are equipped with the tools to navigate it with grace and resilience. Now, as you reflect on what you've learned, I invite you to take the next step in your journey. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. How have these Stoic principles resonated with you? What challenges have you faced in applying them, and what victories have you achieved? Your insights and reflections not only enrich our community, but also help others on their journey of self-mastery. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to a community dedicated to personal growth, wisdom, and living a life of purpose. Together, we'll continue to explore the timeless teachings of Stoicism and other philosophies that empower us to live our best lives. Thank you for being part of this journey. Remember, each day is an opportunity to live with intention, clarity, and peace. The wisdom of the Stoics is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life that has the power to transform how you see the world and how you engage with it. Continue to cultivate these practices and watch as your life unfolds with greater meaning, fulfillment, and serenity.